This has been a good series so far for the Phillies against the Padres. On Friday night, Shane Victorino's two-run home run gave the Phillies a 2-1 lead. The Padres tied it, but then the Phils took the lead on a bases-loaded walk, and then it was up to Roy Halladay, who scattered 10 hits over 7 innings of work, and then he gave it over to his bullpen. Brad Lidge closed things out in the 9th inning. He faced 3 batters, had a nasty slider, and great command on his fastball. Last night, the offense was rolling again. Jason Worth, who flied out to the track twice before this home run, gave the Phillies a 6-2 lead over John Garland, and then it was left not to the bullpen, but to Jamie Moyer, trying to pick up his second complete game of the year, and Jamie was outstanding. In the 9th inning, he helped his own cause with a little bit of defense on a friendly flip to Ryan Howard, and then, and this was appropriate, Wilson Valdez helped retire the final batter of the game. In fact, Valdez had 6 assists in the final 4 innings of last night's win for Jamie Moyer. Now today, the Phillies go for Game 3 of this 4-game series in front of another sold-out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. Well, the Phillies have been red hot against the San Diego Padres. Not only, Sarge, have they won the first 2 games of this year's season series, but they've won 7 straight overall against San Diego.
Yeah, they feel pretty good against San Diego since 03, 32 and 15. That would tell me right there they feel good when they play against a team. Now take a look there at the numbers. Just about in every category, they're beating the Padres there. Wins, obviously. Average, that's what you like. That shows you consistency. And how about the runs a game? 6.13 runs a game there, and no home runs, dominating the Padres there, Tom.
And the pitching has been brilliant. We saw that last night with Jamie Moyer's complete game. And Jamie, well, he was on top of his game with maybe the exception of 1 inning last night, Sarge. But then he was in total control.
Yeah, he really was there. Only time he thinks about age, he says, is when the media brings it up. 47 years old there as he gets guys who just rolled over. Talking with the Padre hitters today, they were saying it was a little bit embarrassing that Jamie was able to pitch like that. Not only that, complete the game. Jamie goes in looking for 27 outs there, getting defense from Ryan Howard. Good defense they were getting just about all night there, and when he wasn't making good pitches there, helping out himself as he does a little tumble, showing good composure. Here's the 27th out that I'm talking about. Here's a guy that just seems to be getting better. And not only that, they're counting on him to win when he goes out there to pitch. And look at his season's record there, 6-5. Don't put a lot of stock in that. I'm going on his effort. I'm going on his heart. He makes other players play better. He's been doing the job this year. Can't wait for his next start.
You know, the funny thing is that he gave up his 500th career home run a few starts ago, hasn't given up one since, and now he is 37th all-time, tied with Jim McCormick and Gus Wying for the all-time victory list with 264. Next up, Epirixie and also Bob Feller. So Jamie Moyer in 2 hours and 2 minutes last night. Today we'll see if Joe Blanton can duplicate it against right-hander Kevin Correa, who made his first major league start against the Phillies. Last night it was all about Jamie Moyer and the offense. We'll see if the offense can continue to pound the Padres when we return with the starting lineups. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Want to go home with me tonight? I'm the designated driver. Budweiser, responsibility matters. By Southwest Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. By Toyota. Toyota's national sales event is going on now. Hurry into your Toyota dealer today. By Xfinity. It's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. By Citizens Bank, with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. And by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Padres. The Phillies begin play today. 2 games behind the Atlanta Braves in second place in the National League East. Meanwhile, the Padres, their lead in the division in the West, remains at a half a game. Let's take a look at the Padres starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Scott Hairston leads it off in right field, followed by his brother Jerry at shortstop. Adrian Gonzalez, the first baseman, hits third. Chase Headley's over at third, batting cleanup. Nick Hundley makes the start behind the plate. He'll hit fifth. Matt Stairs, a rare start. He's playing left field, batting sixth. And the bottom third of Tony Gwynn, Lance Sawatsky at second base, and Kevin Correa pitching for the Padres. And they'll face right-hander Joe Blanton, who Wheels is really trying to get himself on track statistically here in 2010.
He's pitched okay. They haven't scored a whole lot of runs for him, but you know, he's come back at the time when the Phillies have gone into that run scoring drought that you hope is close to being over, and there are the overall numbers of him. He's not a strikeout pitcher, and you know, he has to stay away from walks. His key pitch is a changeup. They have 5 left-handed hitters in the lineup here this afternoon, a couple switch hitters, so that is one of those things that is very important for him on our Southwest Airlines scouting report. Also, you know, you don't know what's going to happen here today, whether it's going to be one of those off and on days, or is a forecast for a front to come through later, and everybody hopes that doesn't, but just in case, he could be asked to have to sit down and get back up and go back out there, or possibly end his start here at some point prematurely today. We'll just see what happens.
Well, the umpires for today's ball game, behind the plate, Marvin Hudson. Jim Joyce is over at first base. Jim Wolf is at second. And Darrell Cousins is around at third. Cousins is the crew chief of this umpiring crew. Well, Joe Blanton has finished up his warm-up tosses. We mentioned the Phillies are 2 games behind the Braves. The Braves won last night against the Dodgers 9-3. So they've hit the road and won 2 of the first 3 against L.A. So Scott Hairston will lead it off for the Padres for the second straight game. Will Venable is still out nursing a sore neck. Apparently he is available, though, if the Padres need him at some point this afternoon.
And that could have been another left-handed hitter they had in the lineup here today. Blanton's one of those guys they like to use left-handed hitters against, and his changeup is the pitch that he really needs to use today.
Hairston overall in the series 1 for 7, hitting .228 with 6 home runs and 14 runs batted in, making his 7th start as a leadoff batter for the Padres. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Blanton has had really good numbers this year through the order early, and then they seem to catch up to him second, third, fourth time around. See if that holds up here again today.
There's a fly ball down the right field line. Long run for Jason Worth. It hangs for him. He makes the sliding grab into foul territory. It hung up there long enough for Jason to get to the neighborhood, and he was able to put it away.
Had a good read on that ball right away. You could see that he knew that he was probably going to have to go into a slide eventually, and he's prepared for it. Right there, goes into the slide, times it perfectly, and makes the play. And you know, Jason Worth is so athletic that he's able to do a lot of things. And with those long strides of his, he can cover some ground in a hurry.
Boy, the Phillies defense the last 2 nights has been pretty impressive, and you know, that's a good thing. Last night it was Ryan Howard who made one great play after another over at first base. And he certainly helped Jamie Moyer to that complete game victory. So with 1 away, here's Jerry Hairston Jr. He's the older of the 2 Hairstons. Hitting .236 with 3 homers and 19 runs batted in. He has a hit and 8 at-bats in this series. And as you saw, just 2 hits in his last 17 at-bats. And he chops one just foul. And it's 0-2. Wheels was mentioning Blanton's struggles through the lineup. Now, the first 5 innings of a game this year, he's allowed 9 earned runs in 30 innings of work. After that, in the 6th and 7th innings of games, he's allowed 15 earned runs combined in 8 innings of work. And that's usually the 3rd time through.
Yeah, I think it's more of a recognition factor by hitters as opposed to fatigue, because Joe's a big, strong guy who is in good shape. He works hard.
1-2 pitch. This is low, 2-2. The opposition, as you saw that ERA for Joe, the opposition's hitting .372 against Joe the 3rd time through the lineup. And he's fallen behind 3-2 to Jerry Hairston. Adrian Gonzalez waiting on deck. Back toward the middle, knocked down by Blanton. Finds it, he's going to have to hurry, and no chance to get Jerry Hairston. And that'll be a base hit, an infield single.
Yes, you said, Tom, he couldn't find it. If he'd have seen that right away, he may have been able to get over to it and have a chance to get Hairston, who runs well. But you see right here when it comes back at him, goes off his glove, and now he's looking around. He can't find it. And now when he finally finds it's too far away. Here it is again. And Hairston got a great jump out of the box. No throw. See right there how quickly he came back at him. The best thing to do is that just hold on to it, because only something bad could happen.
So an infield single for the Padres. Here's Adrian Gonzalez, their best hitter. His average at 275, but he has really picked it up here in the month of June. 10 homers and 33 runs batted in. Phillies have held him to just 2 hits in the series so far. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
He's a big time player in the middle of their order. You know, there's always been talk about him going somewhere else in a trade, but still with the Padres. And a nice play there by Brian Schneider, and a guy they really rely on.
It's amazing as Schneider keeps Hairston over at first base. Amazing how Gonzalez, when he was drafted #1 originally, people had high hopes for him, but it took 3 organizations, the Padres being the 3rd, before he really established himself as a bona fide all-star.
Good running count right now, and that's probably where they're going to throw over. The Padres are a team that have to do these kind of things because, you know, they're not necessarily a home run hitting team. There you see he is 4th overall with Nate Colbert #1.
Swing and a miss. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's that changeup that we talked about before that Joe throws to lefties.
Yeah, and he has to throw that to be effective in fastball counts especially, and that was a fastball count, 2-1.
Rich Dubie's staff has done some really good work over the last month or so. Included in that is what Jamie Moyer did last night with his 2nd complete game. Just missed. And Joe was trying to backdoor that pitch. There's Jamie.
I think they would run here. Jamie Moyer did a great job with their lineup last night, and it's a really good running situation for them.
Hairston goes, and the pitch fouled off. He got a pretty good jump. Hairston has stolen 4 bases this year. He's been caught twice.
Right, and they trust Gonzalez in the spot because, as we talk all the time on this kind of account, you're not trying to steal a base. As you see, they're stolen bases. They do run and steal bags, which they have to. But this is a situation where you're looking for your hitter to make contact and get a 1st and 3rd out of it.
He goes again. The pitch is hit in the air to left center field. Towering shot into the alleyway. Ibanez is back, and that one is gone. A 2-run opposite field home run for Adrian Gonzalez, and the Padres jump out 2-0.
That's an example of Gonzalez. You know, as Tom mentioned, he hadn't hurt the Phillies in this series, but you get in fastball counts with this guy, he'll hurt you anywhere. He has great power the other way, and that ball's hit a long way. That's hit like 380, 90 feet to left center field. And he gets a fastball, a pitch right in the middle of the plate, and he doesn't miss it. And the ball's going to carry here again today, just like it did last night because it's so warm.
Well, Chase Headley's the hitter, as Gonzalez is congratulated by his teammates for his 11th home run. Far and away the team leader in home runs. He's the only one in double digits for the Padres.
8th home run given up by Blanton, the 4th to left-handed hitter.
1 ball, 1 strike the count to Headley. And he pulls it foul off the first base line. Well, Gonzalez is the property of the Padres with an option through 2011. There's always talk about him and Heath Bell, their closer, about the possibilities that they'll be dealt at some point. Can't imagine they would be dealt if they stay atop the National League West.
Well, yeah, you really can't do that to your fan base. You know, they already have an incredibly low payroll as it is.
Line drive, base hit for Headley. That one's heading toward the warning track, and it's going to go to the wall. Headley heading to second. The throw by Jason Worth, not in time. And he's got a 1-out double. That's his 9th double of the year. So another extra base hit for the Padres. And one of their hottest hitters, Nick Hundley, will dig in.
This ball has some hook. That's a great replay on that. You see that ball hook as it goes out there. So that gave Jason Worth no chance to get over and cut off the angle and keep him to a single.
Here's Hundley with 7 RBIs in his last 6 starts. That one's way up and in. 1 ball and no strikes to him. Hundley is a 300 hitter, batting .308. Rich Doobie didn't have a whole lot to worry about in last night's ball game, particularly after the 5th inning. But he's watched the Padres jump out to a 2-run lead. That was a good pitch by Blanton. Ryan Howard's there, and he makes the catch. And he has to quickly get that throw in because Headley bluffed over to third. And 2 away. And that'll bring Matt Stairs to the plate. Let's see what kind of reaction Matt Stairs gets as he bats for the first time this afternoon.
First of all, I didn't know that was Matt Stairs coming up there. Now all of a sudden, like, is that the same Matt Stairs that played here?
Look how thin he is. He's lost 37 pounds.
Still swings the same way. Watching him in batting practice, and there's no BP today, but the first 2 games, he just plays home run derby.
He was saying yesterday, I was talking to him with Charlie Manuel, he said that his swing hasn't totally caught up to his body yet. He said that, you know, he is lighter and his bat speed is a little quicker. And he's still getting used to, you know, how he wants to stand in the box and all those other things. He doesn't get a whole lot of at-bats, so he'll get 4 at-bats at least today.
Well, he's getting a chance to play a little bit more than he did with the Phillies, too, because they really couldn't play him in the outfield because he didn't move very well, even in this smaller type ballpark.
Swing and a miss to the changeup. 1-2 the count to Stairs.
You know, when you've had Matt Stairs for 2 years, you don't throw him fastballs to hit. It's just crazy. It makes no sense. You can throw him fastballs, but you don't throw him fastballs on the strike zone.
Outside, 2-2 the count.
As he did there. Try to get him to chase a little bit or maybe paint the corner with one.
Charlie Manuel presented Matt Stairs with his National League Championship ring before Friday's ball game. And he hits that one back toward the middle, a base hit. Around third, heading for home is Headley, and he's going to score an RBI single for Stairs, his 7th RBI of the season. The Padres now lead it 3-0.
A high changeup. He did not want to throw him a fastball, as we were talking about, but he made a mistake with a changeup. And that's a nice piece of hitting by Matt Stairs. You don't see him hitting any balls right back through the middle. There's Charlie giving him that National League Championship ring the other night. That was nice.
And Matt tipped his cap over toward his former teammates. A little wave to the crowd. Kevin Steinhauer, who runs the visiting clubhouse, who's a huge Flyers fan, as a lot of folks are, was trying to talk Stairs into walking out with a Flyers jersey on the other night. Runner goes. Stairs sneaks a stolen base. He was off and running before Blanton even delivered the pitch.
He didn't even look at him. Just lost his concentration. Right there, you know, Stairs is, as Tom says, just off and running. That was a gimme.
Tony Gwynn Jr. takes a pitch for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gwynn, a 208 hitter with a home run and 10 RBIs, 2 for 3 in the opener of the series. Didn't play last night. Up high, 2-1.
Now watch what happens here. He just ran. If Bland had even stepped off and become a 5th infielder right there, he'd have gotten him. But he continued towards home plate, and then he didn't want to balk.
Big Joe has thrown a lot of pitches in this inning. He's behind 3-1 to Tony Gwynn Jr. 15 balls, 17 strikes. And he pulls that one softly to Ryan Howard. Blanton is there to cover, and the inning finally comes to a close. But the Padres scored 3 runs, 2 on the opposite field home run by Adrian Gonzalez. That got them on the board. They added a base hit by Matt Stairs. They lead it 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the first. And they trail this one 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Charlie Manuel. Brought to you by Xfinity, only by Comcast. Shane Victorino leads it off in center field. Placido Polanco bats second. Jay Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard, the first baseman. Jason Worth is in the 5-hole in right field. Raul Ibanez bats sixth. And in the bottom third of Brian Schneider, Juan Castro, and Joe Blanton. Facing right-hander Kevin Correa, making his 11th start of the year, 5-4, with an earned run average of 4.55.
Kevin Correa can be kind of a hot and cold type pitcher. He's the kind of guy you can score runs on, and other days, he can be tough. Here's a scouting report on from Southwest Airlines. He's a sinker ball pitcher with his fastball, but he'll mix in 3 other pitches. And Jason Schmidt couldn't pitch one day for the San Francisco Giants. And this guy made his major league debut, and a member of the clubhouse thinking, no Jason Schmidt. He beat the Phillies that afternoon in San Francisco.
1 run over 6 1/3. Here's Victorino to lead it off, and Shane shows butt and takes a fastball for a strike. And it's 0-1. Shane's had a good series. He's 4 for 8 with 3 runs scored. He's hit a home run. And he's trying to get things rolling here in the bottom of the first. And a check swing, and he's in the hole 0-2. Shane is a leadoff batter this year, has picked up 29 RBIs, and he has scored 29 runs. And that's in place of Jimmy Rollins. And he stays alive.
Wind has really picked up all of a sudden, headed out towards right and right center. It was blowing a little bit when the game started, but you can see a lot more, and look at some of the trees outside the ballpark.
Feels like a late afternoon right now at the ballpark, after a long hot day and some thunderstorms rolling in. Inside, 1-2 to Victorino.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen here today at some point.
These two teams will finish up this series tomorrow night in what they call a wraparound series. This is game 3 of 4. And a line drive base hit for Victorino. Well, he followed that one beautifully, just stayed with it. Took that breaking ball right into center for his 5th hit of the series.
Here is that first career start. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon in San Francisco. No Jason Schmidt. Let's go get him. And he was good. See strikeouts on Marlon Byrd, who's now with the Cubs, and Jim Thome, who's now with the White Sox. Or the Twins, I mean.
White Sox, Dodgers, Twins. He's been a lot of places last year.
He's bounced around, yeah.
Here's Polanco, and a throw over as Victorino gets back diving. Well, Correa has not had an easy year. I mean, obviously his numbers 5-4 with a 4.55 earned run average. But off the field, it's been as hard a year as you could imagine for a ball player or for anyone. And the first pitch is up high to Polanco. He lost his younger brother Trevor back on May 9th of this year. Trevor was hiking in the California hills and he fell 60 feet and eventually lost his life, and Correa was put on the bereavement list. He missed a start, but 6 days after his brother passed away, he made a start against the Dodgers. Victorino continues to lengthen his lead off first. He goes. Pitch is taken low. The throw to second is a little high, and Shane slides in safely. 12th stolen base of the year for Victorino. Boy, Hundley got rid of that pretty quick.
Yeah, that was a little too close. That's one of those ones when you're down by 3, you better make it. And Shane, obviously, and Davey Lopes felt they could run here. There's a little slider and a quick release there by Hundley. Not a real easy pitch to handle, and he beats it.
This infield dirt looks awfully muddy right now, too. And, you know, it wasn't as if Shane spinned his wheels. That was just a pretty good throw. And the 2-0 drops in for a strike. It's 2-1.
See, Correa is another one of those guys who use all his pitches, and he's for the most part, he's a sinker ball pitcher and needs to have an effective sinker to mix in his other stuff.
See Polanco's overall numbers. He's 3 for 8 in the series. And he's got the count in his favor. 2 balls and 1 strike. Opposite way, a one-hopper knocked down by Zawatsky, and Polanco is safe at first. And Victorino still at second base.
Yeah, he's got to be at third. They catch a break there, though. Zawatsky doesn't field that ball. Now, Victorino froze a little bit because it looked like it was in the air, and you certainly don't want to get doubled up. But once it bounced away from him, you got to be at third. You know, it's. See right now, that's a tough base running play at the beginning because it's in the air for so long. But then it bounced away from him, and he's going to throw to first, or he's going to eat it, and it's a play you get to third with his speed.
Well, they have charged an error to Zawatsky at second base. That was a tough hop. Runners on first and second for Chase, and he takes a pitch down and away, 1-0. Last night, Shane had a ball when he was over third that was tapped past the mound in the first inning, but he decided not to go on. That one, I'm sure he thought was going to be caught out of the air, but once the ball got away from Zawatsky, whose only thought was to try to get the runner at first, he had a chance to get over to third. A chopper right side, that'll get the runners over. Correa is there to cover. So runners on second and third. The putout goes 3-1. Shane talking over right now with Sam Perlaza.
Well, they had a base running problem in the first inning last night where he should have scored on that play, and we talked about that. And you know, it's just one of those things. You know, sometimes you don't do the right things on the bases. There's a lot of human element involved, and it just happened a couple times.
There's Ryan Howard. Ryan, 3 hits and 7 at bats so far in the series. Drove in 2 last night with an opposite field double. 3 infielders on the right side. And a swing and a miss at a breaking pitch.
You really want to get something back now, too. You know, you have this opportunity here in the first inning where you get hit with a 3 spot and there's some momentum, and you can get a lot of momentum back in the bottom of the first inning if you can score.
0-1 the count to Ryan. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Ryan Howard knows that he can score right now. He can get a running with contact because they have that big overshift defense on. And anything hit to the right side, you know, it's going to be a ground ball where Shane can score easily on it.
I mentioned last night, Ryan and Chase Utley both have very good numbers against the Padres. Ryan hitting .381 with 9 home runs against San Diego, including his 2-run double in last night's game. Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Ryan got such a big hit last night in that game, that double to left center. You know, it knocked in a couple runs, and I think it really loosened everybody up. Certainly helped Jamie Moyer, too, give him a little margin for error.
And a swing and a miss at a slider, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. He may have gotten a piece of that one. And it's now even 2-2. Phillies have won 7 straight against the Padres. And they're averaging over 6 runs per game during that 7-game streak.
They want to go through the signs again. You see a pitcher step off like that when he's ready to go. And 9 times out of 10 where the base runners are, it's that we want to do this again. We're not sure where we want to go here.
On the hands, a looper on 1 hop to second. That'll get a run home. Howard gets an RBI. Victorino crosses the plate. Pollock goes over to third, and it's a 3-1 game.
Yeah, good job there by Ryan Howard to make contact. You know, he's down to the count, 2 strikes, and Correa made a really good pitch on him. As Tom said, broke his bat. And luckily they have that shift on. In this case, it was lucky for him, because if the second baseman's in any kind of normal situation, that's an out. For example, if it's first and second and they're playing up a little more instead of having him all the way back, that's an out. But in that case, the shift actually helped him get an RBI.
38 RBIs now for Ryan. Here's Jason Worth, and Jason takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Now you see where he is all the way out here, Watsky, and normally even you'd be in this area somewhere, of course, and that would have been caught, and Ryan wouldn't have gotten anything, and the Phillies wouldn't have gotten anything out of it.
Outside, 1-1.
So he loses so many things to that shift, and in that case, they get an RBI out of it and a run.
Earlier this year, he was hitting the ball the opposite way. That was helping his cause against the shift, but nobody's really shifting back to a straightaway setup for him. They're not buying the opposite field hits that he's picked up.
No, if you're the opposition, you really have to do that with Ryan Howard. Just all you do have to do is look at the spray charts.
So 3 RBIs for Ryan in the last couple of games. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jason. Lays off 2-2. Jason hit a 2-run home run last night.
Really drove the ball well to right center last night, which, you know, can help him come out of it a little bit.
And a swing and a miss, and he's down on strikes, and the Phillies strand a runner over third base. They do get a run thanks to 1 hit and 1 error by the Padres. We go to the second. It's a 3-1 game. Padres got 3 runs in their half of the first. The Phils got one back, though, in the bottom of the first inning as Joe Blanton goes to work against Lance Sawatsky. And the first pitch misses outside. It's 1-0. You know, Major League Baseball the last couple of seasons has had a great initiative, which culminates with a trip to the All-Star game. As Sawatsky loops one toward left center. Victorino's on the run. That's going to drop in front of he and Raul Ibanez. It's called the People All-Stars Among Us, and we have the 3 finalists from here in Philadelphia that will join us during the course of the ball game. And Marcy Shankwala is our first contestant on the Phillies television network. It's not really a game show, but Marcy, it's very nice to have you aboard.
Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here.
I was mentioning that Major League Baseball has the People All-Stars, and there are 3 finalists from each major league city, and you are one of the finalists. And this must be pretty exciting to be part of this.
It's wonderful. It's exciting. Really at a loss of words to really tell you how, just to be sitting with you guys and watching our hometown Phillies. What more can you ask for?
Well, Marcy is part of an organization that she began called CrossingTheFinishLine.org. And the organization, as Correa shows Bunk, benefits more than 800 patients and 3,000 caregivers who are going through cancer treatment. And I know it's an organization that's very dear to your heart. Why don't you tell us a little about it?
Well, back in 1998, my first husband was diagnosed with cancer when he was 29, and he passed away at the age of 30. But during that time, we had the chance to go away, courtesy of our family and friends who had a Philadelphia beef and beer for us and raise money. And when he died, we vowed to be able to do this to other young adult cancer patients and their families and give them the same experience that we had had and help them make some memories and bring some joy into their life and really help them cope with the traumas that they're going through in their cancer diagnosis.
And a lot of people have been affected by it, not only from your organization, but you know, they need a little bit of a respite just to, you know, clear their minds, clear their souls when they're going through all these treatments.
Yes. And, you know, it just gives them a chance to bring a lot of joy into their life. You know, take a break. That's what you need to do.
Well, with 1 out, we go back to the top of the order. Scott Hairston is the batter. Well, prior to the ball game, Marcy, along with Harry Leong and Darlene Sullivan, the 3 recipients, the 3 finalists for the People All-Stars Among Us, were honored, and you got a chance to get your picture taken with Shane Victorino. That's pretty neat.
And he's one of my favorite players, so on Hawaiian Day, nonetheless, I take
That's exactly it. Runner goes, and Sawatsky is safe as he gets under the tag of Chase Utley. And that is the second stolen base of the afternoon for the Padres. I think Sawatsky just got his hand right around that tag.
You see, you got a pretty good break there. And Brian Snyder's throw just a little bit late. Chase Utley's in great shape right there to try and block the bag. You see him put his knee down, but he still is able to get around him. So that was a nice job by the base stealer.
First stolen base of Sawatsky's major league career. The count is 0-2.
He stole some bases in the minor leagues, checking back on his numbers. And so it's not surprising that he ran a little bit. And that's a great job by them, too, because they didn't get the bunt down.
So 0-2 now, the count to Scott Hairston with a runner in scoring position.
You want to analyze a play, Marcy? Jump right in there. Everybody else does at home, so, you know, go ahead.
Don't be a critique here.
Yeah,
maybe this is my new job.
That was a pretty good pitch right there.
We'll give you a shot. I mean, well, they're going to look at this right now.
Well, here are the 3 finalists, including Marcy, that will be with us today. Harry Leong, as we mentioned, and Darlene Sullivan, who will join us as the game moves on. And Marcy, when you think about the organization which you began, could you have envisioned it would have this kind of an impact when you started it?
You know, that's a hard question. I never thought we'd ever be at this point, because when I just made the decision to really do it, I was sitting in a funeral parlor doing my husband's, you know, putting arrangements together. And I remember distinctly saying to myself, like, should I put it in his obituary notice? And I never thought, like, here we are 10 years later, if this would ever happen. So, I'll do an analogy to baseball, because the people we have, it's like the bottom of the 9th inning, you know, and they're down by 1 and they're fighting for their life, you know, and we're able to score a home run for them and give those families, you know, some memories that last a lifetime.
Polanco knocks the ball down, throws Hairston out. Joe Blanton works out of a jam here in the second inning. Again, it's CrossingTheFinishLine.org. And again, PeopleAllStars.com is where you can log on, vote for Marcy, and also take a look at her resume. Marcy, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. Good luck with this, and hopefully we'll see you in Anaheim. We'll be back. And Wednesdays at 8, don't miss the heart-pounding action drama, The Unit. 2 great nights of primetime TV right here on MyPHL 17. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Phillies trail at 3-1. It'll be Raul Ibanez, Brian Schneider, and Juan Castro against Kevin Correa. And we just talked to Marcy Shankwaller, who is one of the finalists for the People All-Stars Among Us, representing the Phillies and the city of Philadelphia. And Harry Leong is joining us now in the booth. And Harry is a native Philadelphian. As the count is 1-1 to Raul Ibanez, and has done a lot of great work in the community, mentoring not only youngsters but also adults. And Harry, we appreciate you coming on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us.
We were asking Marcy how great this is to be part of this this event and to get this kind of exposure for what you're trying to do. I mean, has it been enjoyable?
Yeah, well, it's a real blessing. I mean, just being recognized for there's probably hundreds and thousands of people who are serving in the community, and we're just three of the many who are serving.
Well, it's great that you get a chance to enjoy this kind of day, and as we said, get the exposure for yourselves individually, but also for your organization. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
I do a lot of mentoring to youth and young adults, basically from immigrants as well as people born in the United States. They're primarily Asians, and we do a lot of outreach through sports and education and just building up the people so that they in turn would build up the community. So it's really about community transformation, and that's our goal. You know, we want to see changes in people's lives, and we want to see changes in the community through just this mentorship and community service opportunities that we present.
Now, looking at your resume and your group's resume, you've done a lot of work in basketball, haven't you?
Correct. I do a national organization that in Canada and the United States. There are about 80 teams to participate, and we collaborate with other organizations, just like the Suns, and we do the similar work.
It's great because, as we know, Wheels and I have watched this over the years. But sports plays such a great role in the lives of the kids' lives, but also in adults' lives too.
Right. It is the opportunities that we have just to encourage the youth and just build them up, and just opportunities to make a difference in their lives.
Can't help but notice on your the information we got that you coach a lot of other sports too. So how do you know so much about all these sports?
It's just I grew up playing sports, so I pretty much played the 4 major sports, street hockey as well. And played a little soccer, played a little tennis, and we just from that experience, just passing it on to the kids.
The count is 3 balls and 2 strikes to Raul Ibanez.
There's something about I always felt as a kid, teamwork was so important. Can they learn life lessons from teamwork from sports?
Oh, definitely. I always look at sports as a microcosm of life. How you respond during games, how do you react during plays. You really see that in the kids' lives as well. And that's my opportunity to mentor the kids, to tell them how we should respond, and they in turn respond in the way that we want.
You can learn a lot from losing, can't you?
Right. Losing, you can't be a winner until you know how to lose.
Well, we saw last year the folks and the impact that this program had on their programs. Brad Hennifer was the winner last year. What is something like this? What kind of impact do you think this will have on your programs?
You mean particularly this People magazine?
Yeah.
Wow. It just allows people to see that the work that we do is recognized by other people, and encourages them to see that it is worth it to put in the effort. It's worth it to make a difference in people's lives.
Brian Schneider is the batter with a runner at first. And that first pitch is outside, so it's 1 ball and no strikes. We watched the impact that the People All-Stars had on Brad and his organization last year. And I think from a baseball standpoint, we've seen how great Major League Baseball is in the communities they're involved in. So I guess you're seeing it firsthand, too.
Oh, definitely. It's great that an organization like the Phillies and even the major leagues would seek to make the difference and support those who are serving within the community. It's a real encouragement for us, too. I'm sure many others who are in the community see that, and that's why it kind of comes around,
What was it like being down on the field today, getting a chance to see a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff?
Very encouraging, really. Just seeing just being around the atmosphere is a lot of energy and just a lot of fun.
1-1 the count to Brian Schneider with a runner at first base. Now that pitch a little high, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike. I think the other thing, too, that we noticed from the recipients last year, and Wheels is a Philadelphia native, the impact that all of you have had in the Delaware Valley, and I guess that's important too, particularly the inner city.
Right. Yeah, my work is primarily in the inner city and extends throughout South Jersey, Delaware as well. So into our suburbs too as well.
Well, it's 3-1 now to Brian Schneider, and Correa is running into a little bit of a problem with his command. Juan Castro waits on deck. Phillies are trailing at 3-1 here in the bottom of the second inning, and they're trying to claw their way back. And a chopper foul. It's 3-2.
Harry, is there something about helping people when they're young, and then when they turn into adults and they come back and you see maybe they help some other kids out?
Yeah, that definitely is an encouragement for me that my work was worth it, and others see that, and they in turn would step in and make a difference, seek to make a difference in people's lives too as well. So yeah, definitely an encouragement.
Well, I guess you have such a cross section of folks that you're impacting in the youth, as Will said, because there's so many sports that you're involved in too. Right.
I also do a little work with senior citizens too.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a senior citizens group that we reach out to as far as teaching English, as far as just providing caring ministries or caring work to them.
Now, do you have some of the senior citizens, and are they involved with some of the youth programs that you have too?
Not so much. We have young adults.
That thing scared you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Us too.
That happens from time to time, Harry. It's just a big old green thing that just sneaks up behind you. Schneider hits one in the air to straightaway center. Gwynn, a few steps from the track, makes the catch. And there's one away. Yeah, the Fanatic is very unscripted.
Fine. Whoop. We've been there.
You're not sure if that ATV is going to take you out, are you?
I saw that. I heard it coming, and I just jumped a little bit. I was like, oh, don't run me over.
You ought to see when he comes in here with a big bucket of popcorn.
Yeah, that gets a little messy. Well, I think one of the other things, too, is that, folks see this kind of video and see the involvement that you've had or you're having with Major League Baseball, and you can't help but provide exposure to what you're trying to do, too.
Right. It is really a great exposure for us and the many people we're serving within the Philadelphia area.
Now, we mentioned how Marcy, people can get involved with Marcy's program. Is there a way people can get involved with what you're doing in the community?
Yes. I spoke to people. I actually wear a bunch of different hats. I guess I can give you my website. It's www.phillysons.com. That's my youth group in the community. And then I also am a co-chairman for www.nacba.com, which is a national basketball association that I'm involved with.
Here's Juan Castro, and the count is 1-1 strike to Castro. Did you play basketball at all?
Yes, I did. Not for any teams, just more locally, but competitively. We played competitively. Probably the level is probably a little bit higher than about junior college level, I guess. There's some college players that play in leagues, but generally it's about that level.
Now, can you see the difference that, let's say, your basketball program has already had on some of the youth that are involved in it?
Oh, yeah. Well, the difference is that they're in turn are serving within the community too as well. So it's kind of coming back around. Community service is a major part of what we do, and a lot of kids get it, and they get back into the community and serve.
Off the outside corner, 2-2. I would have to think that when you see a kid get it, that's pretty gratifying.
Yes, it is. And many kids do get it. Even if it's after a couple of years, watching them grow as a teenager to becoming a young adult and just taking on more and more responsibilities and really making a difference in people's lives.
Castro chops one back toward the middle. Hairston is going to have an easy double play as long as he can make the throw, and he can't. Castro will be safe at first. He had plenty of time, and the Phillies get a break.
Yeah, you technically you can't assume a double play, but they can score an error on that. If the guy is out by that much, now whether or not they'll do it or not, we'll see. But you do see that every once in a while when a guy's out as much as Castro is out there. This is an easy dead double play ball. Hairston steps on the bag, and all he has to do is flip it over. And Gonzalez, who's very, very good over there, that ball hit off the heel of his glove, and he wasn't able to make a play that he almost always makes. So you get to turn the order over here.
So Joe Blanton will bat. Joe hitting .250 this year. And he chops the first pitch right off his leg. So it's no balls and one strike. Harry, have you thought about if you were to win and represent Philadelphia, what it would be like in Anaheim at the All-Star game?
I actually really didn't think too much about winning. I'm just thankful just being able to be recognized for my work. You know, if I win, that'd be great. But I really haven't really thought that much about winning.
About a trip to Disneyland.
Oh well, yeah, that'd be nice.
It's right across the street from the ballpark. The street being I-5.
Well, and I thought too. I mean, for everybody that's involved, from a Philadelphia standpoint, with this. You know, the Phillies coaching staff is a big part of that. As Blanton sneaks one right under the glove of Headley over at third. I mean, you're a big Philadelphia sports fan. You know, I just thought it would be kind of neat to be out there and see an All-Star game, but to see Charlie Manuel's crew, maybe Roy Halladay out there too. I mean, you know, that's all part of it.
Right. I would feel like that they're my team. They're my team, so I'm going with them. So that would actually be a pretty cool thing too.
Yeah, and it's out in Anaheim. It's one of the prettiest sights in the league too, is you know, that ballpark. So but I guess the biggest thing is the exposure that it gives your organization and all the organizations that are involved.
Right.
With 2 outs and runners on first and second, it'll bring Shane Victorino to the plate, and Shane takes a pitch off the outside corner. Do you have visions of what you want to do in the future for the organizations that you're involved in?
I actually like to see someone take on my role and sort of take, you know, work myself out of the position just to see other people step up and I would do something else. You know, maybe I'll expand what I'm doing.
And have your reach, you know, sort of tap somebody else to help with the resources and getting a lot of the things done too.
At this point, yeah, I have a few people who kind of step up and take on responsibilities, but right now at this point I haven't. You know, everybody's still growing, so we're still developing. So,
3-0 the count now to Shane Victorino. Boy, another base runner here would really put a charge into this crowd. In fact, the Phillies have gotten 2 breaks really in this inning. The ball that Castro hit, and really the ball that Blanton hit.
Oh yeah, Guerrero should be in the dugout on a smoking hot afternoon, and he's already up to 48 pitches, and he's not out of the second inning.
Up high, ball 4. He just walked Victorino on 4 pitches, so the bases are loaded. Bud Black and Darren Balsley, his pitching coach, stirring a little bit in the dugout. Still has a 3-1 lead, but a base hit here could certainly turn the tide of this inning in this game.
And Sam Palazzo has a little bit of a problem out there in that he has Blanton at second base. So, you know, a base hit obviously will get you 1, and whether it gets you 2 or not, we'll see where he can hit it.
Well, the runners will take their lead all the way around. Harry Leong is joining us. He is one of the nominations for the People All-Stars Among Us from the city of Philadelphia. And if Phillies can get a run here, we would term Harry a very good luck charm. And Placido Polanco is down, no balls and 1 strike. And Harry, we've talked a lot about the sports and the impact that your programs have on sports, but you know, there's other things too, as we talked about, the educational part of it, the SAT training, things like that. I mean, there's a lasting reach, the things that you can do for the youth in this area.
Yes, definitely. Just the sports is just one aspect, and the education is just one aspect. The community service is one aspect. But I think the relational part of it is probably the big thing. You know, establishing relationships and really showing that as an adult that we have caring people, and I'm building up caring people to care for the youth as well as others. So that's the encouraging part. Relational is probably one of the big areas.
Well, and the other thing too is that they can go on to be doctors and lawyers and accountants, but they can also still have an impact in the community while doing those things.
Right.
0-2 the count to Polanco. Way outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Polanco today has reached on an error by the second baseman, Zawadzki. Bud Black knows the feeling of a day like this, being out on the hill. Opposite way, a foul ball, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You watch this when Correa pitches all these right-handed batters. He never throws a pitch inside. You know, we talk about it all the time as hitters, and you're watching this, you can eliminate half a home plate. I mean, they're pitching away, they're playing away, and Polanco, that's his strength.
Well, they're making him work. 32 pitches alone in this inning. Overall, 53. we'll see what Polly will get here. I think Wheels is right. He's probably just going to keep getting stuff off the outside part of the plate. Nope, they're going to come inside. And he lines it toward left field, a base hit. And it's far enough away from Stairs to allow Blanton to score. It's a 2-run single for Polanco. And this baby's tied up at 3.
Well, that's amazing. The success they're having away. I just noticed that, and I thought we'd bring it up. And darn if they don't think they're going to try and come inside there and fool him, I guess, and surprise him. But Polanco is quick inside. One thing about his game, you know, he likes the ball away, he works the ball away, but here they try to run a fastball in. It's right in the middle of the plate. He totally missed his spot, and that was in a spot where you could score Big Joe from second. Here he comes. No problems for Sam Perlazo, and Harry, nice job, 2 runs.
It's not a good luck charm. It's just happened to be in the place.
Well, Marcy got around a leadoff double, and you just
That's
got 2
true.
runs, so you guys are doing a great job.
23 RBIs now for Polanco. Here's Chase Utley. And Chase is 0 for 1. He grounded out. Harry, how did you get involved? I mean, there had to be somebody like yourself that impacted you that has led you down this road.
Yes, I had a number of mentors that, as a youth, that one was her name was Mitzi McKenzie. She passed away last May, but she was if you went into our community and spoke to anybody about her, she was probably the greatest example that I could follow. You know, and she's the position. Her position was the position that I currently run as a center director in the community, and it's been great with others. But definitely as a youth, that's how I developed.
Outside, 2-0 the count to Chase Utley.
You want to get that wrapper out of there. Oh, there it goes. And there aren't many hitters that will take pitches or stand there and have pitch, and it's still sitting there. You know, the pitcher and the catcher doesn't bother them. But I guess he's locked in.
Sean Gallagher loosening up in the bullpen for the Padres. Phillies have scored twice in the inning, looking for a little bit more. Up high, ball 3. And it's 3-0 now to Chase.
57 pitches. He hasn't gotten out of the second inning.
There is Darren Balsley, the pitching coach for the Padres. He's got Sean Gallagher loosening up. This is the 4th 3-ball count.
Well, and granted, the Phillies should not have these runs because they didn't make 2 plays.
And Chase taking all the way, takes a bell high, or more of a letter high fastball for a strike, and it's 3-1. Phillies have Victorino at second, and Polanco at first. They've already scored 2. Again, Correa steps off as Jerry Hairston comes in behind Shane Victorino.
Shane did a good job in this inning too. After the pitcher got a little bit fried, he gave up a hit to his counterpart, Joe Blanton. Victorino stood there and took 4 pitches, kept the inning alive. Polanco knocked 2 of them in.
Outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So the inning continues for Ryan Howard. Movement from the dugout yet for the Padres. And the Phillies have scored twice. Will send their 8th man to the plate in this inning. And boy, a base hit here would really bust this inning wide open.
And that wind is blowing a ton to right field right now. He gets one up in the air. Ryan Howard can, as Gallagher continues to throw. They only have one lefter, Thatcher, and he's a situation guy for later. You can really do some serious damage here with a fly ball.
So the runners take their lead. Ryan Howard has got an RBI today and a ground out to second. So 0 for 1. Correa works from the windup. And he drops one in for a strike. It's 0-1. Harry Leong is joining us up here in the booth. He is one of the 3 finalists from the city of Philadelphia in the People All-Stars Among Us. And he's been a good luck charm, and he's hoping that that sign is even a little luckier than him. And he lays off 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, Harry, you just had a big Memorial Day basketball tournament with your program. How did that go?
It went really well. We brought 4 teams. We had a contingent of about 60. There were about 1,200 participants in the tournament. We didn't fare that well, but it was still a great experience for our kids to go to Toronto, Canada, last weekend.
Yeah, I think anytime you get a chance to have kids of that age group travel, see other kids playing the same sport, it has an impact on them.
Yep, definitely an encouraging time. Many of the kids that we have probably would not travel outside of the sport.
Correa steps off because Victorino is charging down the third base line. He's got plenty of room to roam because Headley, the third baseman, is playing over towards shortstop.
Yeah, and he's trying to hopefully make him balk there, because there'd be no other reason to do that, because all you're going to do is distract Ryan Howard.
1-1 the count to Ryan. That one just missed. It's 2-1. He does force Correa to now go from the stretch instead of the windup. Whether that makes a difference or not, I'm not sure.
Well, the only thing that does is it some guys are better from the windup, but it keeps the runners a little bit closer. But with with 2 outs, they're running on contact anyway.
In the dirt, 3-1. Well, the Phillies took the lead for good in Friday night's game when Jason Worth worked out a bases loaded walk.
This is where Ryan Howard really has to be disciplined. Make sure it's a strike in a certain area. And these guys are really struggling right now. The catcher Hundley, the pitcher Correa, they really can't get together on what they want to do.
Swing and a miss. They went with a slider. The count 3-1. And it's 3-2. Harry, we didn't forget about you at all, but there's a bases loaded situation going on here.
I'm in the game. I'm watching this.
Got a good view up here, huh?
Excellent view.
Well, the runners will be off with this pitch. And Ryan stays alive, and it remains full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
He skipped it looked like he threw him another breaking ball that time, and maybe tried to backdoor him. The other one before that was maybe a little bit low that he chased. Let's see if this isn't another slider. Yeah, and he's trying to backdoor him and catch him outside corner and freeze Ryan. He fouled off a good pitching. Late swing because of his late recognition. Uh-oh, that's a strike.
And a line drive off the glove of Zawadzki and into right field. 2 runs are going to score. Utley goes to third, and another break for the Phils. And they take the lead 5-3.
Yeah, they're really self-destructed defensively in this inning of the San Diego Padres. All starting with the dead double play ball, and then the ball under the glove of the third baseman, Headley, and then that ball, that had serious topspin on it. It was coming down like a submarine, but still got to be caught. Here's another look at it. Now look how hard this thing is hit, and he's all over that with topspin. And it's coming down, and he thinks he has to jump higher to Zawadzki, and that ball comes down and hit his glove in a spot where he couldn't control it. Has to be caught. Wasn't. Correa's day is over, and he didn't pitch great today, but he certainly deserved a better fate in this inning.
Well, they give a base hit for Ryan Howard. He'll drive it 2. The Phillies lead it 5-3. It's an AT&T call to the bullpen. Harry, you've been a great luck charm. We appreciate you coming up.
Thank you for having me.
Good job, man. Wish you the best of luck. Harry Leong, one of the Philadelphia Phillies People All-Stars Among Us nominations. Kevin Correa's afternoon is done. Phillies lead it by 2 and still have something cooking. Make your purchase for the 3-game series between the Phillies and the Florida Marlins. Well, here we are, bottom of the second inning. The Phillies have batted around, and they're into the Padres bullpen. It's like the old days. Sean Gallagher is the new pitcher for the Padres, his 11th game. And his first pitch to Jason Worth, outside for a ball. It's 1-0. This has been an inning in which the Phillies have certainly taken advantage of the Padres' miscues defensively.
Yeah, and they consider themselves a pretty good defensive team. One of the reasons why they've had a good start to this season. But in this inning, wow, double play ball that they don't make. The ball under the third baseman's glove, Headley, that should have been caught by Blanton. And then, of course, that line drive right there produced a couple more.
Outside, 3-0 to Jason. Wheels, we both have our scorebooks here. I haven't gone back to look, but I can't remember the last time the Phillies batted around it.
That's an excellent point. Used to be maybe once every 2 or 3 games.
Ball 4, and the bases are loaded again. Here's how this inning has developed for the Phillies. This is the double play ball Wheels is talking about.
Yeah, this is a ball hit by Juan Castro. And there's the ball hit by Blanton that goes under his glove that should have been fielded. And then Shane has a really good at bat and walks there. Then Polanco, the first pitch he sees inside, he nails. And Joe Blanton also scores on that. Now here's his top spin liner that fooled the second baseman Zawadski, and 2 more runs scored. So there have been no errors charged in this inning to the San Diego Padres, but they have not made plays.
Oh, and Raul Ibanez bats for the second time. Ibanez walked to start this rally. So 10 men have come to the plate. The Phillies have scored 4 runs. And the bases are still loaded. And Raul skies it foul. On the left field line, it's 0-2. Over the last couple of days, I'm sure Bud Black has read these comments. The Phillies have felt that their efforts have caused the offense to kind of stir a little bit. Well, today could be the continuation of that, taking advantage of the miscues. A chopper foul by Raul, and it remains 0-2.
Well, they had some situations when they were in their funk where the other team made mistakes, but they could not capitalize on it. And a lot of this, of course, is coming with 2 outs. And they're the biggest runs you can score in a game with 2 outs. And they weren't doing any of that. Of course, they were getting shut out in a lot of games.
Remains 0-2. The other thing they've done today with the Padres starter, not because Correa is out of the game, but it's really, their approach is that they made him work in the first inning when they scored a run. They made him work here in the second inning before they scored the runs. 0-2 the count to Raul. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Marlins lead the Mets 1-0. That game's at the bottom of the 5th. Dan Uggla has belted his 13th home run.
It's Ricky Nolasco, who the Phillies missed last time. Same matchups coming up in this series with Florida. That's amazing.
Including Roy Halladay against Josh Johnson.
Yeah, that might be a good one. Last time we went out on a limb and said this could be a good pitching matchup. And the Phillies gave Josh Johnson a real kicking. Got 1 unearned run off him, and as you look at the runners, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, and Roy Howard, he was just perfect that night.
1-2 the count to Raul, and he hits it the opposite way. Hairston to his right, a step has it, and he throws out Ibanez, and the inning comes to a close. But what a good inning it was for the Phillies. They sent 10 men to the plate, including Raul 2 different times. They scored 4 runs. We go to the third. It's 5-3 Phillies. while allowing 4 hits or fewer and driving in the only run.
Oh, yeah, I would just come right up with that one. Yeah, that's
There's a lot of information in that one.
Yeah, we'll come right up with that. No.
At least not right now.
Not right now.
We go to the top of the third. Phillies lead it 5-3. Adrian Gonzalez leads it off, and he drills one right past the glove of Joe Blanton for his second hit. And as Gonzalez settles in at first, we welcome in Darlene Sullivan, who is our third nominee for the People All-Stars Among Us here in Philadelphia. Darlene, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Now, do you know that answer? Did you see that trivia question?
Yeah, no.
Maybe you can help Wheels with it as we go along today.
And I can certainly use it.
There's a lot of information that you have to gather. Well, Darlene is part of the Canine Partners for Life program as Chase Headley stands in. Canine, the letter K, the number 9, the number 4. Life.org is your website. Tell us a little about the website, or tell us a little about the organization.
Well, Canine Partners for Life trains service dogs to assist people who have physical disabilities. So these are dogs similar to guide dogs for the blind, except they work with people who have mobility impairments. So people who have difficulty using their legs or their hands or their arms, and also people who have seizure disorders.
Must be really smart dogs.
They're very smart dogs.
We have one in the booth with us, right?
Yeah. We do. Ripley is my service dog, and she's here today. She's sporting her Phillies collar.
We saw Ripley down on the field when the Fanatic was sneaking up behind you guys.
Well, she loved seeing him, and she went up and gave him a kiss, but then he blew his tongue out at her, and that's when she kind of jumped back. She wasn't too sure about that.
Neither are we, to be honest with you.
Well, back-to-back hits now by the Padres to put runners on first and second. Well, here is the Fanatic, as we mentioned before. There's Ripley. Ripley went right up to the Fanatic. They're both checking each other out. That kind of threw Ripley off right there.
What is that thing?
Ripley's like, I have that muzzle. I can't do that.
I didn't see anything like that in school.
I know, exactly. How do you prepare a dog for something like that?
You don't prepare anybody for that.
Well, Hundley takes a pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. How did you get involved in the organization?
I actually founded the organization 21 years ago.
Okay.
And would have never known it, but 8 years into it, I developed chronic fatigue syndrome and ended up using one of the dogs from the organization that I founded.
And I guess that, for a lot of us that don't have the issues, the everyday issues that folks do, we can't imagine how much of a help it is that these canines are part of their lives.
No, absolutely. I mean, people face so many challenges. Just little things like if you drop a pen on the floor, to always have to ask someone else to pick that up for you. It's just really difficult. So to be able to have a dog that can just reach down, pick it up, and hand it back to you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I was reading the story that Ken Starks, a good friend of ours, wrote about you in the Town Talk Reporter. And there are certain types of, like I just showed you a picture of my dog Nittany, a Shih Tzu, who certainly could not be a service dog. What kind of dogs provide the service?
Most of our dogs are Labradors, black and yellow Labradors. We also have some Golden Retrievers and some standard Poodles, and then some crossbreds of those. So we have some Labradors crossed with standard Poodles.
I have a Golden Doodle.
You have a Goldie Doodle.
Yeah.
We have a few of them, too. They're typically dogs between about 50 and 100 pounds, and they're the working and sporting breeds. They're the dogs that love to work. When I pull the harness out every day, Ripley just jumps in the harness. She's ready to go. She really wants to do her job.
1-2 the count. That one's in the air to shallow left. A long run for Ibanez and Polanco and Castro. And Polanco makes the catch as he straddles the line. One away.
That's a great play because the wind was bringing that ball back. That thing started out like it was going to be foul. And then the wind really looked like it picked it up and brought it back into fair territory. That's a very hard play, third baseman, to make over his shoulder like this. It's a much easier play for the shortstop. Man, that's a good play he just made. And this is a fair ball, too. Well, that would have been all kinds of trouble. Great play.
Well, one away here in the third. Matt Stairs is the hitter. Matt had an RBI single his first time up, so he's 1 for 1. We are talking with Darlene Sullivan up here in the booth, and Darlene founded the Canine Partners for Life, and she is one of the 3 nominees from Philadelphia, part of the People All-Stars Among Us that Major League Baseball has put together. The winner from Philadelphia and the winner from each city will go to Anaheim and be honored at this year's All-Star game, which the Phillies will be well represented on the field during that All-Star game. And what would something like this, Darlene, do for your organization if you were to win this?
Oh my gosh! Well, just the whole exposure from the moment I got the first email saying you've been nominated, do you accept the nomination? On however far I go, it's letting people know about the work we do. It's letting potential people who could benefit from our dogs know that maybe a dog would help them, and so it's immensely important.
Darlene, what's the difference between what you do and the dog that assists the blind?
Well, our dogs are doing more physical tasks, so they're doing a lot of retrieval. They're picking up things that are being dropped. They can get things out of the refrigerator. They're tugging, so they're opening and closing doors. Ripley enjoys doing the laundry for me. They're carrying things. They're paying cashiers. And then some of our dogs even alert to medical conditions like seizures. They let the person know the seizure's going to happen before it happens, so the person can get to a safe place.
Paying cashiers?
Paying cashiers, yes.
I was amazed about the laundry one. The paying cashiers thing kind of got past me a little bit.
We all could have used that over the years, especially when we were in college. Could have used somebody to help us with the laundry. We were trying to learn to do it when our moms did it all those years.
It's pretty impressive. Now, who trains all the dogs?
We have a staff who trains the dogs during their second year, but it's actually volunteers who train the dogs during their first year.
The other thing that you just mentioned, I read in your article, too, about the seizures. They can anticipate an hour ahead of time where someone may have a seizure and then help that person cope with it.
Yeah, what they do is let the person know it's coming so they can be in a safe place and not get hurt during the seizure.
Wow. Well, a couple of ground ball outs for Joe Blanton gets in through this third inning. Darlene, thank you very much
Thanks
for joining us.
having
Best
me.
of luck, and we'll hopefully catch up with you again down the road.
Thank you.
Thanks,
all right, Darlene Sullivan, our guest up here in the booth. The Phils with a 5-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the third. By AT&T, rethink possible. By Southwest Airlines, go to southwest.com. Grab your bag, it's on. By Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. And by your local Dodge dealers. Home half of the third here at Citizens Bank Park. Another sold-out crowd. Phillies lead at 5-3. Boy, we've had a lot going on here at the ballpark in these first 2.5 innings. A whole lot of pitches thrown by the Padres hurlers. They threw 56 pitches in the second when the Phillies scored their 4 runs. Had a lot of base runners all around. And Brian Schneider leads things off, and he works the count in his favor. 1 ball and no strikes. Schneider flied out to center his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. And he rips that one, scooped on one hop by Gonzalez. He hit it hard, but he hit it right at the Padres first baseman for out number 1. So 1 away, and here's Juan Castro. You know, the Phillies will head back into the American League next week. There are a couple American League scouts that have watched them over the last few weeks and said when they're going good, offensively, they play like an American League team because of how patient they were the first 6 weeks of the season. That's the kind of day they're having today. Castro slices one toward right. Now he wasn't patient with that at bat. That's the kind of day they're having against the Padres so far. Well, today's Thirst Inning is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of the Thirst Inning. There's a little Bud Light Lime. There's the old standby Budweiser itself. A little light beer to cool off today. Another douse of the lime. On a warm afternoon, that's going to go down rather smooth.
You know, sometimes I'm sure our director, J.R. Aquila, has trouble picking up a shot that matches up with the topic. But I don't know about the thirst inning on a day like this, that there would be many problems with it.
I would agree with you on that one.
I think that'd be pretty easy.
Yep. Wouldn't have to venture outside the ballpark even for those shots.
Really?
2-1 the count to Joe Blanton, who, let's face it, had one of the bigger hits of that second inning.
Yeah, there was a ball should have been fielded. And the Phillies, to their credit, really took advantage of the Padres just not playing very well in that inning.
Sean Gallagher, who took over for Kevin Correa, who won an inning in 2/3.
Had a lot going on, of course, with the really neat people that were up here with us for those innings. But that was a heck of a play Castro made on Matt Stairs, and a dig out of the play by Ryan Howard. And of course, the fans gave a derisive cheer to Jim Joyce.
That works out a walk with 2 outs. You know, it's interesting, Wills. Jim Joyce, who's been such a topic of conversation over the last few days because of the missed call that he had in that Detroit Tigers game. He said that Don Denkinger called him right after that, and he apologized to Don Denkinger because he said, "I'm sorry that I've dug up the call from the '85 World Series in which Don Denkinger blew a call." Yeah. He said, "I'm sorry that I've stirred that up again."
The Cardinals and the Royals, you know, the World Series would have been over. They had to go to Game 7 then, and the Royals beat the Cardinals in a 7-game series. It's kind of like, there's Jim Joyce, who's handled this so well. It's kind of like poor Steve Blass. Every time a guy can't throw strikes, everybody starts calling him. He says, "I haven't thrown a pitch since 1972 or whatever it is. They're still calling me every time some guy can't throw a strike."
Yeah, he's probably thinking, why don't they call Steve Sachs or Mackie Sasser or one of those guys?
Well, he was a pitcher best known for it, I guess.
2-0 the count to Victorino.
But something in Major League Baseball that could have just been awful somehow it turned into a positive with the way, as you said, Detroit handled it, Jim Joyce handled it, especially Galarraga, the pitcher. He did a tremendous job. So, you know, it'll go away eventually. But it's something, the first reaction was, "Oh, man, this is terrible." You know, and it's okay now. Well, I shouldn't say okay. It's never going to be okay, but it turned out all right and better than all right.
Well, Jim Joyce said that he had a lot of emotion 24, 48 hours afterward. He said, you know, it's still difficult for him to get around it because he keeps replaying it over and over in his mind.
Well, this is the first time he's been at first base, too, since it happened. You know, he's going the cycle to home, third, second, now back at first. And, you know, he really hasn't had a bang-bang tough play over there today.
But as you said, wherever he goes, people will, you know, time to time.
And some cities more than others.
Blanton goes. The pitch is ball 4. It may have hit Victorino, so it's a dead ball. It's a hit by pitch. And Shane's been on base 3 times today. Well, from the Lehigh Valley. That's a little weather update for you. Not sure if that's heading our way. Lehigh Valley trails Charlotte 4-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. They're putting some sandbags on the tarp. Must be pretty windy up there.
Well, they say if we get hit with a thunderstorm, it'll be a good one. Windy.
Here's Polanco, 2 hits today.
It won't be
1 hit today.
It won't be one of those ones, evidently, Tom, where the ground crew decides, well, you know, we'll wait and see if now they'll cover it.
Line drive, base hit into center field. Blanton being held at third. Not a great throw by Tony Gwynn Jr., but Sam Perlaza not taking any chances.
That's what we talked about last time when Joe was at second base and Polanco was up thinking, how is he going to score him? Well, the way he scored him was he pulled the ball to the right of Matt Stairs, the left fielder, and they were able to score him. from second base. This one is hit right at a fielder, and there's just no way you'll be able to score him here. Polacco's starting to swing the bat a little bit, hit balls hard now. That's really a great sign. As Tom said, even though Gwynn threw a couple hopper in there, that ball could have been cut off by Gonzalez and still thrown Blanton out at home plate. Here, Joe's trying his best. I mean, he's going to give Sam a chance, but you see Gonzalez was just starting to catch that ball, and he could have wheeled it easily, thrown home, and gotten him at the plate.
So the bases are loaded for Chase. Chase has walked today. He's grounded out.
You have the lead, and you have Chase Utley coming up against a right-handed pitcher. Another reason why you drop anchor there.
Take it on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Chase had an RBI in last night's ball game. Looking for another one or two here. Folks behind him can't see, but folks in front of him are enjoying him. Swinging and a miss. In fact, Chase may have gotten a piece of it, but it was hung on to by Nick Hundley, and the Phillies strand the bases loaded here in the third. So we've completed 3 here in Philadelphia. It's the Phils 5 and the Padres 3. As long as you have your computer. We go to the top of the 4th. Gary Matthews joins us here in Citizens Bank Park. Phillies lead 5-3. Sarge, these first 3 innings have taken an awful long time, but the Phillies like the outcome at this point.
Yeah, like the outcome of it because they do have the lead. And it's good to see some other teams make errors, and Fighting Phil's able to capitalize on that. Jerry Hairston, the double play ball. If he had to do that over again, I'm sure he wouldn't throw that in the dirt. But that let the horses out of the barn.
Well, the Phillies batted around today for the first time since the middle of May.
Wow.
That's something that they had done on a regular basis. Here's Zawatsky, who swings the first pitch. Nice play by Castro behind the bag, throws him out. Oh, that new glove that Castro's using. It looked like it was fitting him pretty good there. Finally retired that glove that we told you about at the start of the season about 10 days ago. He had that glove for about a decade.
Yeah, actually sewing it up as he goes right up the middle. Throws it from the side, gathers himself. Set the ball right on the money. Yeah, he's actually sewing the glove up and making sure that the stitches were right on it. Made a few errors in spring training. They're not meant to last forever.
The fact that his lasted 10 years, or a little more than 10 years, I mean, that's unheard of in this day and age. I mean, he wasn't playing every day in the big leagues, but still. Swing and a miss, and Gallagher still hitless in his major league career, 2 away. So Joe Blanton is settling in. He allowed the 3 runs in the first inning. And so far he has stranded 4.
See exactly where it is. Oh, good pitch on the outside part of the plate. 2-seamer. See that ball moving right back toward the outside. Good pitch.
Go back to the top of the order for Scott Hairston. Now you had a little reunion with the Hairston brothers today, or at least one of them. You were talking to Jerry. Did you get a chance to catch up with Scott today?
No, they actually end up getting in a little bit late. Only hitting in the cave. I talked with Jerry quite a bit, and the manager, Mr. Black, likes the defense, although he doesn't like it today.
That ball's hit hard, straightaway center field. Victorino on the run, back to the infield, reaches up, he can't get it. And it's a ground rule double as it skips over the wall. The ball just kept on jumping. Third double of the year for Hairston.
Yeah, that's right into that jet stream. Difficult play, however, for the center fielder because it's straight over his head. See, he has a little bit of a B, but he just keeps carrying. Not much you can do about that. And remember now, Shane Victorino does play shallow.
Well, in a 2-run game, Scott Hairston leads off second. Here's his brother Jerry, who reached on an infield single his first time up and then grounded to Polanco his last time up. Do they get a kick out of the fact that they're playing on the same team?
Well, Jerry's always felt, regardless, since he's the older of the brother, that he's the better player, even though he's the shorter of the brothers.
That's not what I asked you, though. Are they excited that they're playing on the same team?
Well, of course they're excited. Yeah, they're excited, and it makes good talk, especially at Thanksgiving, on who gets what hits.
Jerry is about 5 years older than Scott.
Yeah, he's already mentioned, however, if his younger brother ever pinch hits for him, that he's done. It's over. Okay? He said he's not going to go through that type of abuse at Thanksgiving dinner.
Back toward the middle, and that's going to squirt behind the bag. Utley has it. He's going to hold Scott Hairston at third. Well, that's a good job by Chase. The inning is still alive for the Padres, but that would have been a run.
Well, we talk about what you want to do with the ball when you catch it. Well, Chase Utley was already thinking about it. Catches that ball up the middle. Going to try and get Scott Hairston rounding third base to get him. That ball not hit hard there, right up the middle as it jams him. See Chase as he slides. He already knows he's getting ready to throw to third. You can see not even looking to first base, and that's what anticipating what you're going to do before you get the ball.
That ball is hit hard, and that's hit to right field. That'll get a run home. Jerry Hairston thinking about third. He'll stop at second. An RBI single for Gonzalez, his third hit of the day, and his third RBI. And this is a 1-run ball game. And Rich Doobie's going to go to the phone. Joe Blanton got the first 2 outs very easily in the inning, but now 3 straight hits.
Yeah, that's what you don't like as a pitcher. You see that ball, though, right down the middle almost. Lucky he didn't drive that ball out. Just going up, trying to get good wood on it, and that's what he did.
Well, there's Chad Durbin. Chad joked with us the other day when we were leaving the ballpark. He said, you know, the way the bullpen is throwing, because they're throwing very well, I may only get in if I have to get in like the 4th inning or 5th inning of a game, because Baez was throwing well, Contreras was throwing well, J.C. Romero's throwing well, Brad Lidge is throwing well, and well, here we are in the 4th inning.
And that's a good thing. Good competition, and that's what you like, your bullpen. When they come in, leave the situation right where it is. Meaning not giving up any runs or any more runs or putting out a fire.
One ball, 1 strike the count to Chase Headley. 2 for 2 this afternoon. It's inside and low. The 3 and 4 hitters have not been retired today. Combined, they're 5 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. And a swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Is a Padres team that doesn't traditionally score a whole lot of runs. So when you get 5 runs against them, you want to feel comfortable. And you're hoping you're a little more comfortable with their offense the way it is. The runners will go. The pitch swung on and fouled right at home plate, and that's going to hurt. And Headley's going to need a moment.
It's just a lot of pain when you hit any of those balls off of your body. And you can see that one. And that usually doesn't happen, that you hit your back foot.
Or your back knee.
Oh.
Look at that. How does he do that?
Swinging late. You know, we talk about getting the good part of the bat out in front. And that ball just got a little bit deep on him.
Well, he's saying he's okay to Bud Black and the athletic trainer for the Padres. Well, it remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Headley will get back into the box. Hey, the Atlanta Braves will be here beginning Monday, July 5th at 7:05. That's a 3-game series. Now, Tuesday the 6th, the great giveaway. It's the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 98 Charlie Manuel Louisville Slugger bat for fans 14 and under. You can get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. The Braves are playing the Dodgers later on. Braves have taken 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. Runners go again. The 3-2 swing and a foul ball. And speaking of the National League East, on our Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Nationals, thanks to an RBI single by Ryan Zimmerman, lead the Reds 2-1 at the top of the 7th inning. The Reds are in second place in the Central, a game behind the Cardinals, who have won 3 straight. Nationals are in the basement in the National League East. Another foul ball, and again the runners will go back. We'll see those Cincinnati Reds in the final series leading up to the All-Star break. And they have become a fun team to watch, and Scott Rowland is having himself a little bit of a renaissance over at third base for the Reds.
Yeah, All-Star year he's having.
Pop up, third base side, Polanco into foul territory, and Blanton preserves the 1-run lead. The Padres do get a run on 3 hits. They strand 2. Middle of 4th, it's the Phils 5, the Padres 4. reinvented from Comcast. And by your participating Philadelphia area Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. Bottom of the fourth inning here at Citizens Bank Park. It's a one-run game. Phillies lead it by one, 5-4. Another sold-out crowd watching this one, anticipating Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals. It'll take place later on tonight in Chicago. It's a busy day if you're a Philadelphia sports fan. And it'll be Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, and Raul Ibanez. You know, Sarge, every game has its own personality. Last night's game had an unbelievable personality. Jamie Moyer was brilliant in a game that took 2 hours and 3 minutes. And Charlie Emanuel played for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they used to have guys that, you know, they used to fire some fast games. Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Bob Gibson used to throw some fast games. But 2 hours and 3 minutes last night by Jamie Moyer, that was a really impressive outing.
Speechless. I mean, simply speechless. And, you know, when you talk to Charlie, and he'll talk about the way that this guy prepares. And again, Jamie, he makes other players play better just because of his effort, the way he goes about his job. Never gives up. You know, runs out everything. You never can accuse him of not hustling. And jams you with 81 and 82 miles an hour.
Here's the 1-2 to Howard. Swing and a miss. He's down on the slider. And one away here in the fourth inning. Well, I bring that up because, you know, the time of game, because every game has its own personality, as we mentioned. This one's in the fourth, and we're at 3:15 Eastern time, so this isn't going to be a 2 hour and 3 minute ball game. But I know that you used to face guys, and you knew there would be quick games because they were on the hill.
There's no doubt about it, you know, and especially if they were throwing strikes. J.R. Richardson won it. You mentioned Bob Gibson. I mean, they would really get that work done and get it done quick. You had time to make plans for dinner, early dinner plans, because they'd have you out of there. And that would be with a lot of strikeouts, first pitch, ground outs.
1-1 the count to Jason Worth. Steve Carlton, Randy Jones, we talked about last night. You faced Randy Jones a lot during your career.
Oh, boy. Those are the kind of guys you like to face on a daily basis.
Because he's left-handed.
That's right.
2-1 the count to Jason with one out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Actually threw a lot like Jamie Moyer. Kept the ball away, occasionally inside. Maybe threw a little harder. Not much harder.
And fooled on the slider, and it's 2-2.
You know, guys need to get the ball up in the zone. Ryan Howard struck out on a back foot slider. You know, these guys that can't get the ball by you, all they're going to do is try and trick you. Big difference between 2-2 and 3-1, 2-1.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Gallagher. In fact, he has 3 in a row. And with 2 outs, it'll bring Raul Ibanez to the plate. Well, the Philly Fanatic was very busy before the start of the ball game. Those are our People All-Stars Among Us nominees. And don't forget, the Philly Fanatic's Galapagos Islands Adventure is available to be purchased here at the ballpark, or you can go to Barnes & Noble for a book signing. June 11th, the Christiana Mall from 7 till 8. The Fanatic will be there. The signing is from 8 until 9. Then June 30th at the Neshaminy Mall. The Fanatic will be there from 7 until 8, and then 8 till 9 will be the book signing. Again, it's the Barnes & Noble. The Phillies ball girls will be there. Special door prizes. And illustrator Len Epstein will be on hand. For more information, you can go to Phillies.com. 1-1 the count to Raul with 2 outs here in the fourth. Let's say if you were playing a day game and you saw that Bob Gibson was pitching. Now, you never want to have a fast one. Would you sit there and say, all right, well, the game will start at 1:30. We can have an early dinner tonight. We don't have to worry about scheduling a 7 o'clock dinner. You
know, you're just hoping. And again, facing him, I remember a night that even when Tom Seaver pitched, he only gave up 2 hits. And that's the night that Bobby Bond said he didn't have anything as he punched Bobby out 4 times. That was an early game. Okay. Gary Maddox got a hit that game, and along with Mr. Willie McCovey.
Towards second base, should be an easy play for Zawadzki. He's got it. and Ibanez, and the Phils go down in order. 1, 2, 3 here at the bottom of the fourth. We move on to the fifth. It's a 1-run Phillies lead. Retire the opposing team in order. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone. Last night, Jamie Moyer, he had 4 or 5 innings, I should say, where he retired the Padres in order. Joe Blanton has not had the same luck this afternoon. And Nick Hundley puts a charge into one to deep left field, and this ball game is tied at 5. On the first pitch here in the top of the fifth. Well, he left it out over the plate, and Hundley put it right over the flower bed in left field. Now back to the phone for Rich Doobie.
Well, anytime you hang a ball, we talked about it before, somebody's going to hit it right out of the ballpark. Well, the ball was on the outside part of it, but not spinning away. Elevated the ball, and see you later. That's what you call a hanger.
Well, here's Stairs, 1 for 2 today. He singled his first time up, retired on a really good play by Polanco. His last time up.
Had the nerve to steal a base.
How about that? He didn't tell us today that he was going to steal a base when we were talking to him.
Pull it off. He's thinking about one thing, and he'll tell you. He wants to hit it out of the ballpark.
He lines it the opposite way, and that'll slice foul. We talked to Matt for a while today, and he was already in his uniform, his full uniform, at about 10 o'clock this morning. He doesn't play a whole lot in the field anymore, so he was all ready to go. And he was talking about playing left. Sarge, you asked him, are you playing right or left? He said left. He said, it was actually his choice to play left field.
Yeah, well, reason being is that the dugout was on the left side, and he said that not as far run. Didn't want to run all the way out to right field, even though he is in tremendous shape.
And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, he is a folk hero here in Philadelphia. Why? Well, because of this home run against Jonathan Broxton. Bam!
Oh, boy, I tell you, that ball was hit so hard.
And that helped the Phillies clinch the National League pennant and go on to the World Series championship in 2008. And just looking at Matt's body on that swing, and look at his body now. Boy, what a transformation.
Boy, running out of teams, but boy, he's this guy here. And he's been a good hitter, and he's good in the clubhouse. One of the reasons why so many different teams want him there as a pinch hitter. Doesn't complain about playing. Might complain about playing too much.
And he got out in front of that one, and he pops it up to short right field. Jason Worth calls off Chase Utley. And there's the first out here in the fifth. So one away, and Tony Gwynn is the batter. Hey, right after the game, stay here for Mike Missinelli and Jason Stark. They've got all of today's highlights and look at the week ahead and everything Phillies baseball. It's the Xfinity Phillies postgame show right after the game on MyPHL 17. Tony Gwynn Jr. is grounded out twice. Once to Ryan Howard, once back to the box. And Blanton delivers a fastball for strike one. It's been odd during Joe Blanton's career that he has been a better second half pitcher than first half pitcher. He is 7 games under 500 in the first half of seasons and 13 games over 500 in the second half. His ERA is a half a run better in the second half. I guess there's never any real stone cold reason, Sarge, why guys are better pitchers in one half compared to other halves, or better hitters in one half compared to other halves. As Gwynn pulls one foul.
Well, in Joe's case, I mean, he's one of those pitchers, regardless of how many wins the first half or the second half, is just right about where he is, close to being a 500 pitcher, a little bit above. And that's basically where he's going to average out. Fourth and fifth starters, that's what they are. That's the type of effort you get. Although Joe has a tendency to pitch a lot of innings.
There's 3-2 now to Gwynn. Well, if history dictates anything, the month of June has usually been a pretty good month for Joe. And he's given up 5 runs in his first start in June here as Gwynn lines one to straightaway center. And Victorino shaded the opposite way. He's able to get to it for the second out. So 2 away, and here's Sawatsky. Singled his first time up, and he grounded his shortstop his last time at the plate. Pretty good sinker by Joe. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, fastball's been good. 91-92.
Had a rough first inning. He allowed 3 runs, and he's allowed a single run in each of the last 2 innings. As you saw his pitches by inning. 96 pitches for Joe. This is probably going to be his last inning. He's due to bat third in the bottom of the 5th. It's low, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Trying to get on top of that sinker or breaking ball to get it out of the zone, and he did that. He can go up high, backdoor him if he wants. When you see hitters and they're fouling balls off to the opposite side, a lot of times you don't want to throw off-speed pitches because those guys can catch up to the ball.
Popped it up. Shallow left field. Castro calls off Raul Ibanez, and he makes the catch. So leadoff home run by Nick Hundley ties this ball game up at 5. It was his 4th home run of the season. Came on the first pitch. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, all even at 5 apiece.
Phillies will take it, though.
Coors Light freeze can. Zawatsky just timed his jump. And Ryan Howard picked up a couple RBIs on the play. And now, with the game tied at 5, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Ryan Schneider's 0 for 2. Ryan, oddly, is still looking for his first RBI. Now, he was on the disabled list for a little bit. But it is still surprising that he hasn't picked up his first RBI this year.
Well, he's more of an offensive player than defensive, so you would expect for him to pick things up soon.
On the inside corner from Gallagher, and it's 1-2.
Carlos Ruiz getting most of the playing time, and a lot of times difficult for other players to come in when you're not an everyday guy. And he's been a pretty good hitter, hitting from the left side and against guys. Here's Carlos. Against guys that can't throw the ball by you. Those are the guys you like to face to get that timing back.
Breaking ball inside. It's 3-2 to Schneider. Back toward the middle, a base hit for Bryant. So he's aboard to lead off the 5th inning. A base hit for the Phillies is their 6th of the day. The Padres have actually out-hit the Phillies. They have 11 hits. And here's Juan Castro. Reached on a fielder's choice. And he flied out to right. So 0 for 2. Castro scored a run back in the 2nd. That was a 4-run inning for the Phillies. Castro shows bunt, takes it for a strike. Now Greg Dobbs is out in the on-deck circle for the Phillies. So if you're wondering what Castro's doing here, I mean, he really could be up there trying to sacrifice Schneider into scoring position. Charlie Emanuel realizes that there is one lefty in the pen for the Padres, and he's not up. So he gives Dobbs a clear shot against a right-handed pitcher. There's a pitch out, so the Padres are thinking that as well.
Well, good time for a hit and run. Charlie doesn't do that a lot. You've got to have the personnel, meaning that at least someone that can handle that bat, keep the ball out of the air as your hitter, and decent speed at first base.
I think he'll try to sacrifice, though, up till 2 strikes and then maybe take it off.
Well, it looks like it, especially if you're going to use a pinch hitter. You want to try and get your runner in scoring position. So that's why I said earlier, maybe the hit and run or making sure you get it over.
Well, he bunts it up the first base line. Good bunt by Castro. Sacrifice successful. Up to 2nd goes Schneider. And the putout goes 3-4 on the sack. And here comes Greg Dobbs.
Great bunt, making the first baseman field the ball. And when the first baseman fields it, has to run up to get it. No chance to get any runner there going to second base. Take a look there at the replay as he deadens that ball in the right way it's supposed to go. Right to first base. Good play by Gonzalez, just picking it up. Plenty of time.
Here's Greg Dobbs, who has been working tirelessly to try to get himself out of what has been a prolonged slump. 1 for 20 as a pinch hitter. And he takes a changeup on the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, ball moved back a little bit like it was a two-seamer. But Greg's been getting some playing time, so it should be a little bit easier for him as opposed to a guy like Schneider that hasn't been getting a lot of ABs.
Schneider leads off 2nd. And a foul ball. It's 0-2. Charlie and Milt Thompson have been working hard with Dobbs just to try to get his swing, his trigger down, and get his swing back. It's kind of interesting watching both of them, Milt and Charlie, chatting about and working with Greg during early hitting yesterday. And a swing and a miss, and Dobbs is down on strikes for out number 2. So 2 away, and here comes Victorino.
That's a breaking ball. Again, they're starting not in the right zone there. Good pitch for the pitcher, however, but it started down low. So when he starts it down low as a hitter, you're picking up the spin. That tells you there that, oh, no, I'm not going to swing at that ball. That's why any ball you see spinning, you want it up in the zone as opposed to down. You get it down, you get heartbreak when it's down.
There's Chad Durbin. He'll be the next pitcher for the Phillies. Victorino's been on base 3 times today. Today is the X giveaway. The Shane Victorino foam hands that all fans received coming to the ballpark today. Up on the video board, all the guys have been there. Those foam hands. All the guys have been up on the video board with their Hawaiian shirts on. And Shane has, from time to time, when the Phillies have had days that are about him, you know, the Bobble figurine and today's foam finger. He's had good days. Let's see if that continues. There's the Hawaiian look that we talked about. And a pop-up. Shallow left center field. Tony Gwynn Jr. misread it. Now the wind takes it in, but he's got good enough speed to recover, and he retires Victorino. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left in scoring position. We go to the 6th. All leave it at 5. Another, they have kept the Phillies in each game, start after start. The old saying goes, you're as good as your next day's starting pitcher. And in this case, they have been really good, sometimes even perfect. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. A little Hawaiian action down on the field in between innings. The Fanatic getting involved with a grass skirt and all. I'm not sure if the Fanatic choreographed that appropriately, Sarge.
Yeah, it's a little difficult for him on those type of moves, let's face it.
Took him a little bit of while, but he did get the rhythm down.
Number 37, Chad Durbin.
There were different acts that have been on the field before they started the ball game today. And, of course, the hula dancers there in between innings. Chad Durbin greeted by the hula dancers as he'll take over here at the top of the 6th inning. And Sean Gallagher's day is done. Gallagher is being pinch hit for by Chris Denorfia. Boy, Gallagher did a wonderful job for the Padres because Kevin Correa went an inning and 2/3, allowed 5 runs. And Gallagher basically shut the Phillies down. They had some base runners, but he didn't allow anything else after that.
Yeah, and didn't have a great fastball, meaning coming out of the bullpen throwing 94, 95. All he did was hit his spots. Good curveball.
Durbin quickly ahead. No balls and 2 strikes against Denorfia. Orphy overall hitting .294. No homers and 9 RBIs. He started last night's ball game in right field for the Padres. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And on the outside corner, called strike 3. Orphy thought that was too far off the outside part of the play. That number 9 spot has been rung up 3 times today for the Padres.
Yeah, looked like a little bit of a cutter, meaning that ball is going to move away from him. Take it back. Looked like a slider there. Good pitch on the outside part of the plate. Sometimes you can't tell the difference between the cutter and the slider. Get more spin on the slider. And cutter does exactly what it says. It cuts. Just cuts a little.
Here's Scott Hairston, who doubled his last time up and scored the 4th run of the game for the Padres. He's 1 for 3. Sarge, I have to admit that the Padres doing what they've done this year, it's pretty amazing because they don't hit a lot of home runs. In fact, they have 2 home runs today, which doubles their total for June. But even, and Adrian Gonzalez is such a big part of it, but even the fact that they struggle so much with the leadoff spot, that they're under 200 as a team with that leadoff spot. Polanco behind the bag, wonderful play, pops up and throws Hairston out. 2 away.
That was a super play. Ball had a chance to get down the line. If it does, it's going to be 2 bases. Scott Hairston runs the ball good. They call it the hot corner. And he gets up, throws the ball right on the line there. A little low, but he picks it up. No problem. Didn't hit the dirt.
Well, with 2 outs, here's Jerry Hairston Jr. But you would think, wouldn't you, that if a team is a scrappy bunch, that their leadoff spot would provide a pretty good spark.
Well, you would think so. As Hairston Jr. gets a base hit. When you talk to Bud Black, the manager, he says simply, they've been getting really great pitching, timely hitting, but they've been hitting that all year. Consequently, they've been playing very well. Their confidence is up. And really, the true superstar you have on the team is the first baseman, Mr. Gonzalez.
Well, that's what Bud Black's team has done offensively this year. And also what their pitching staff has done. As Sarge said, Bud said you play good defense, you get good pitching, and that's why you have success. And 3.04 ERA is nothing to sneeze about.
Yeah, they've been running. You can see the second in the league. What is that, 55 stolen bases?
Second in the National League, 4th overall. I guess you got a case like this where if you put at least 1 runner on for Gonzalez, he can come through. And today he's got 3 RBIs.
Yeah, he's just such a terrific hitter. And his average coming into the game not very high, but this is a guy that will hit 300. He drives in runs, can hit the ball out of the ballpark, and at their ballpark in Petco in San Diego, that is not a hitter's ballpark at all.
Line drive toward right. It's a sinking liner, and Jason Worth makes the catch. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left here at the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. We'll get a new pitcher for the Padres, and Placido Polanco will lead it off. Into your Toyota dealer today. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly. And buy Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Well, happy birthday to that youngster right there. His first birthday. A nice head of hair, Sarge, for one.
You're absolutely right about that. With a nice little style there in the front. Not getting jealous, are you?
Well, I do have hair envy, Sarge. We go to the bottom of the sixth. Ryan Webb is the new pitcher for the Padres. 14th game for Webb. A very small earned run average of 1.15. 2-1 record. 12 hits, 9 strikeouts, over 15 2/3. Ryan Webb is a young man that the Padres got in the deal that sent Scott Hairston to the Oakland A's. Now you're probably sitting there wondering, well, Hairston's still with the Padres. Well, the Padres got Ryan Webb and Sean Gallagher from the Oakland A's. And then Scott Hairston came back to the Padres this past offseason. Placido Polanco leads it off. Webb last year for the Padres was 2-1 with a 3.86 earned run average. And that was in 28 games in the big leagues. And the 1-0 to Polanco, chopped toward third. Headley's got it. High throw, and Gonzalez is able to pull it back down on the bag. So one away here in the sixth.
Hard sinker, you can tell. Ball moving in on Polanco. And he comes out with just a high toss. Gonzalez up to the task and bringing it down. Just letting the ball go up high. Seems like the more time you have, you take your time. A lot of times, if you don't throw that hard toss, you can throw the ball away.
Here's Chase. Chase today is 0 for 2 with a walk. And first pitch fastball is in there for a strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, that's movement there at 96 miles an hour. Two-seamer moving away, breaking away there from Chase Utley.
Chase lines it toward left center. Hangs up there for Gwynn. Well, he hit it hard, but they're 2 outs quickly here in the sixth. Well, the Phillies, an extraordinary tradition, a hardcover coffee table book, is the definitive pictorial history of the Phils. It features over 400 photos, plus rare pieces of memorabilia and original essays from Phillies stars, past and present. You can get one today by calling 877-GO-PHILS, in park at the Majestic Clubhouse store, or online anytime at the fan section of Phillies.com. With 2 outs, Ryan Howard settles in. Ryan has 3 RBIs today. And a breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1.
It's almost a perfect pitch as that slider just broke right back on the outside part of the plate.
And a fastball high and in, 1-1. Ryan Webb is out of Palm Harbor, Florida. He went to Clearwater Central Catholic High School. And his dad, Hank, was a major league pitcher. This kid's got some pretty good stuff, though.
That's a good breaking ball. Fastball he's thrown at 96. Ryan Howard out in front of that breaking ball.
And a fastball on the outside corner at 97 with some movement. A 1-2-3 sixth inning for Ryan Webb. Ryan Howard saying that ball tailed away from the outside part of the plate. Marvin Hudson thought it was right on the black. You take a look, you decide as we go to the 7th.
how well that game was played last night, how crisply it was played. Well, today's a little different. The Verizon Wireless Game Summer. We are all tied at 5 after 6. Both teams have had a lot of base runners. The Padres have hit a couple of home runs. Brian Howard has knocked in a couple of runs, 3 runs actually, with the 2-run single, that RBI ground out. And Placido Polanco has knocked in 2. So both teams into their bullpens.
Padres have stranded 7 so far. The Phillies have stranded 8. So we go to the top of the 7th. Chad Durbin, who had a scoreless 6th inning, facing Chase Headley. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike to Headley. Headley doubled his first time up and scored, singled in the 3rd, and then popped out to 3rd. So he's 2 for 3. That ball is hit foul down the first base line. Joe Blanton went the first 5. He allowed 11 hits and 5 runs. And the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Padres today, 8 for 11, with 3 runs scored and 3 RBIs as J.C. Romero starts to heat up in the bullpen. Line drive foul into the seats. Jerry Hairston has 3 of those hits from the 2 spot. Adrian Gonzalez hit the ball hard all 4 times he's been up and has 3 hits. And Headley has 2 hits.
Well, both these teams' bullpens have been pretty good. Oh, that's cute. Both these teams' bullpens have been very good, and the Padres, really, that is the strength of their team. They got a lot of strikeouts in that bullpen, so they have to feel that they're in a pretty good spot right now, and the Phillies like their relief pitcher.
There's a looper towards straightaway center field coming out of Shane Victorino. He's not going to get there. Drops in for a base hit, and it's a leadoff single for Headley. So he has his 3rd hit. So 9 hits now for the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Padres. And here comes Nick Hundley.
Headley last time up beat a wicked foul off his leg, and it looked like he wasn't even going to be able to play, but he stayed in the game, obviously, and just got himself a hit.
Now, we mentioned the Padres have stolen 55 bases this year. Headley has stolen 9 of those bases. So if you're Brian Schneider and Chad Durbin, and Chad has a very good move over to first for a right-hander, you got to keep an eye on these guys because they're going to try to get into scoring position. Towards shortstop, could be 2. Castro flips to second for 1. Utley to first. A 6-4-3 double play. Oh, that is big right there. In a game that has been littered by base runners, Chad Durbin gets the double play to empty up the base paths. And Matt Stairs is due up, and Charlie Manuel's heading out to the mound, and he's going to signal for J.C. Romero.
Here's that double play ball sinking down and away. And Hundley tried to pull it and pulls it right into the old 6-4-3.
So Chad Durbin's afternoon is done. J.C. Romero, the left-hander, coming on to face the lefty Matt Stairs when we return. to 14 for softball. You get professional coaching, skill development, and from Phillies players, coaches, and baseball academy instructors. It includes uniforms, a trip to Citizens Bank Park, 15 great camp locations, 10 weeks to choose from. Log on to PhilliesCamps.com. Get a chance to come to the ballpark and see some of the things that are happening here as the clinics and the special instructions take place. You also might be able to see Rosie Ron, one of the Phillies photographers, flying around, taking photos. She does such a great job. And we want to wish Rosie's brother Bob some get well wishes. He's down in North Wildwood recovering right now, and we understand that he's home watching this ball game. And Bob, we're thinking about you. Your sister's thinking about you as well. And J.C. Romero will take over here for the Phillies in the top of the 7th inning.
And Matt Stairs will stay in the game and hit off him. You know, Matt knows these pitchers, and of course these pitchers know him. And Stairs will probably make him throw a strike.
Looks like he just said something to Brian Schneider as he dug into the box. Bases are empty. And the first pitch inside for a ball. It's 1-0. JC has slowly gotten himself back into form as one of 2 left-handers for the Phillies out of the bullpen. And that one misses inside, 2-0.
And Stairs knows that Romero can have control problems, and the odds are he won't swing until he gets a strike.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Jeff Francoeur's hitting streak continues, a 3-run home run. And the Mets have tied up the Marlins 6-6. That game's in the top of the 8th inning. And that's over for, oh no, must have been high. It's 3-0.
Threw him 3 breaking balls and missed with all of them.
On the inside corner, it's 3-1.
We hated to take it. Probably had a take too, but boy, he got a middle in fastball, and if there was ever a middle in fastball hitter, there he is.
I was joking with Matt saying I was surprised that they lifted him when the Phillies brought in J.C. Romero in yesterday's game. At the knees, it's 3-2. I should say in Friday night's ball game. They brought him in for Oscar, or they took him out for Oscar Salazar. Salazar, though, has done a pretty good job as a pinch hitter for the Padres. 3-2 the count to Stairs as Romero comes ready. And a swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. JC falls behind 3-0 and then comes back and throws 3 strikes. He and Chad Durbin combine to pitch a scoreless 7th. It's time to stretch here in Philadelphia. ask you once again, can you name the only Phillies pitcher since 1955 to throw a 1-0 complete game shutout while allowing 4 hits or fewer and driving in the only run of the game?
No.
You can't dig back into that memory bank?
Well, yeah, if you gave me a hint. You know, there's so many guys that threw.
Let me tell you, he has been in the news, in Phillies news, the last 8 days.
Jim Bunning.
That was too easy a hint. Oh, it was too easy a hint. May 5th, 1965, against the Mets, a home run off of Warren Spahn.
That used to be Whitey's thing, right? Pitcher shut out and hit a home run and be quiet.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing Dodge. Stuff the fans.
Hey, Spahn was a guy that could have done that to somebody. Because you talk about a great hitter. Warren Spahn was really unbelievable. I'm trying to think how he had a hit. Well, that'll be wrong. We were looking at it. He had to hit 20, 30 home runs, I bet you.
Well, he was a good hitter. There's no doubt about it.
Maybe that was a dumb statement.
No.
30 home runs. He hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah, there's some great hitting pitchers. Red Ruffing was one. Warren Spahn, obviously. Tom Drysdale. The list goes on and on. Hank Webb, who is Ryan Webb's dad. I don't know if he was that good of a hitting pitcher.
No, but Hank Webb, as we talked about the other night, is a heck of a guy in the Clearwater area. He's done so much for youth. The Clearwater for Youth Foundation down there. John Timberlake involved in it. Brian Unst, who was a mayor in Clearwater for a number of years, and Brian's dad, Hank, is really a good man down that Clearwater, Florida area. He's born in Clearwater, was Ryan, and grew up in Palm Harbor, north of there.
Well, and if his dad, Hank, is watching today, he knows what kind of pitcher Ryan Webb is, but we saw him for the first time in the 6th inning, and man, he can throw hard. He's got some pretty good movement on his slider. Here's Jason Worth, who takes one of those fastballs for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Warren Spahn hit 35 home runs.
There you go.
It's one of those ones you throw it out and you go, uh-oh.
I may have told you the story before, but I was up at the Hall of Fame at a meeting for the Eastern League, which is the same league that the Reading Phillies are in, and the Trenton Thunder and Harrisburg Senators. And I was on a bus going from the hotel to the Hall of Fame. It was me, one other person, and Tom Seaver and Warren Spahn.
Oh, wow. That's pretty neat.
1-1 to Jason. Hit in the air to shallow center. Tony Gwynn is coming in, and he makes the catch.
Spahn hit 4 home runs twice in a season.
Well, these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. On that bus trip, it wasn't just that we all sat there and didn't say a word. It was about a 1.5 mile ride, and they couldn't have been nicer, the two of them.
They're pretty good right and left.
Oh.
Those
two guys that weren't big in stature, but certainly were in abilities.
Spahn always get the age wrong, but it was his mid-20s where he won his first game in the major leagues and became the all-time winningest left-hander.
Here's Raul Ibanez, 0 for 2 with a walk. And Raul pulls it toward Gonzalez at first, an easy play for out number 2. So 2-away here in the 7th. Ryan Webb has had an easy time in the first 5 batters that he's faced.
Hey, I talked to Jay Dunn during the innings when I was off. You see their bullpen today. It's a strong point. Talked about that double play, Castro, and said you can sometimes score an error even though you cannot assume a double play. He said that's only if the fielder drops the ball at first base, not on a throw. So that was on a throw that was in the dirt, not handled by Gonzalez, but you know the ball was in the dirt. Now if he catches it and the guy's out by a lot, you can rule an error. So thanks to Jay for straightening that out for us.
Jay Dunn is the official scorer here at this ball game today.
Learn something every day in this game, Tom.
Well, the thing about scoring that's difficult sometimes, as Cousins says that Schneider held up, is that a lot of it is up to the interpretation of the score. A lot of rules. But there are some that are listed in black and white where you really can't use your own interpretation.
Yeah, that was one of them.
1-1 the count to Schneider, who singled his last time up. And a breaking ball in there for strike 2. In the air to right field for Snyder. On the run is Hairston. Warning track wall off the top of the wall. And Snyder's going to pull it to second. With a 2-out double, he came just 2 or 3 feet away from his first home run of the year.
And that ball would have left his bat, looked like a double. It looked like it had a lot of top spin. It wasn't going to be high enough. And Tom said just off the top of the wall. And then, of course, he still would have had to clear that fence out there. He got a fastball out over the plate a little bit, really drills it. It's on its way down right there, and it hits right there on the top of the wall. And, oh, this will be a great look at it. Watch this here. Bonk. And still would have had to go another 2-3 feet up over to clear that fence out there.
2 hits today for Snyder. He's been looking for his first RBI, his first home run. Now he's in scoring position. And he'll just settle for a run. In a 5-5 game, Juan Castro is up.
And they won't walk him here because you have a left-handed hitter Glode on deck to hit for the pitcher, Romero. So they're going to go percentage right. This is another tough situation, too, for Sam Perlaza, the third base coach. Outfielders are going to cheat in a little bit, and you don't have a good runner at second. But just because there's 2 outs, if you get a base hit, doesn't mean you have the lead.
Best arm of the 3 outfielders is the guy in right, Scott Hairston. And it's a little high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Castro.
And they are seriously overshifting Castro right now. As hard as Webb throws and also gets breaking balls away from him. Look at that gap in left center field and the way they're cutting it off in right center.
Juan is late, and it's 1-2.
And he does hit so many balls to the right at second base. You know, you can't blame him. I mean, that's the way to play him here.
Castro has reached base once on a fielder's choice and scored. He also has flied out to right, and he is sacrificed. At his size.
He's got a good arm. It's funky too. I would think the right-handed hitter, he's not fun to hit on.
6'6", 214 pounds. Was a starting pitcher for most of his minor league career until last year, when he basically became a relief pitcher and hasn't looked back.
Well, this is a big pitch to the at-bat right now because they don't want to go to 3-2. So you see a little indecision, so step off, let's go again.
Up high, and they go 3-2. They came with a fastball. Castro has it full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It's not like there's a left-hander in the bullpen right now where you think this is your last hitter either. There's nobody up.
Yeah, Thatcher has worked the first 2 games for the Padres. He might be unavailable today.
Yeah.
The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on a slider. Castro's down on strikes. Second strikeout for Ryan Webb. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left in scoring position. 7 full here at Citizens Bank Park. Still tied at 5. Top of the 8th inning. And then the Phillies and the Padres tied at 5.
So you start looking at potential moves. The guy on deck's a switch hitter, Zawadzki. They go left here, and they only have Venable on the bench. And as you said, Tom, you don't know whether he's available or not. I mean, from the left side.
He said yesterday that he thought he only needed a day, but who knows? I mean, he could have woken up today and had a stiff neck.
So Contreras is up in the bullpen for the Phillies. There he is.
He still has a sweatshirt on.
Yeah. Well, that may answer the question.
Well, Tony Gwynn Jr. leads it off. Gwynn is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice. He's popped out.
They have Eckstein, Torrealba, and Salazar still available from the right side.
On the inside corner, 1-2 the count. The Phillies starting staff has done so well. A lot of these bullpen guys have not gotten a chance to work that much. I mean, J.C. Romero's gotten plenty of work, but guys like Antonio Pistardo from the left side, he hasn't worked a whole lot. In fact, he's thrown some bullpen sessions. Chad Durbin, who we saw today, pitched very well. He hasn't gotten a whole lot of time as of late. Gwynn flares one into left center, a base hit. And he can run, so you got to keep an eye on him. And the Padres are not afraid to try to steal a base. Well, speaking of stealing a base, a few guys today stole second. They were safe and secure at second base. There's Matt Stairs. Here comes Shane Victorino. Safe and secure at second base thanks to New York Life. Zawadzki was the third guy to swipe second today. Zawadzki up there now. He already squared as Romero tossed over to first. So they're trying to get that runner into scoring position.
That's why he throws over to first there and see if he would do it a little bit early, square a little bit early and give it away, and he did.
Zawadzki is 1 for 3. He is singled, grounded out, and popped out to short. And he squares late this time, and the pitch inside for a ball.
They have not shown a hitter in the on-deck circle at this point.
What is the rule? Do they have to have somebody out there?
Technically, you see some umpires will turn around, point over there, and make sure they have somebody out there. Others don't. And so far, nothing from Marvin Hudson.
Well, here comes David Eckstein now. He's back. He's out in the on-deck circle. And Zawadzki bunts at it and misses. Or got a piece of it, I guess, and fouls it off. It's 1-1. There's Eckstein.
And that'll get Contreras into the game. But first things first, have to see what happens with Zawadzki.
Punts it in the air. One hopper to Ryan Howard, who he thought about second. He had a chance to get Gwynn. Instead, takes the sure route. As good as Ryan has become, or as better as he's been, throwing the ball, sometimes he just doesn't want to take that chance. And with the speed of Gwynn, he probably felt it was an unrealistic chance. I thought he had a chance to get it.
I think he thought he was going to look up and see Gwynn not that far down either, because that ball was bunted in the air. But Gwynn does it. Let's see how well he reads this. Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. See, that's the key to that, is the way he was able to read a bunt that was in the air that long and not make a base running mistake. Great instincts there to see that thing was going to drop in front of him. I think Ryan Howard, he can still get it, but he decides not to. Sure, he thought he was going to look up and see him a long way from second base.
Well, the sacrifice bunt by Zawadzki puts a runner in scoring position. It also gets J.C. Romero out of the ballgame. So J.C.'s day is done. Charlie Manuel's out to the mound. He's gone to the bullpen once again. Jose Contreras will be the new pitcher for the Phils with one out here at the top of the 8th inning when we return. fewest innings in the National League this year, but they're getting their work in today. Chad Durbin, J.C. Romero, and now Jose Contreras. 21st ball game for Jose. A 2-2 record. A 1.06 earned run average. More than a strikeout per inning pitch for Jose. And he has settled back into the 8th inning role with Brad Lidge reinstated from the disabled list. So Contreras is on with the runner at second base. And one man down, and he's on to face David Eckstein, who has been introduced as a pinch hitter for the Padres. Another sold-out crowd here at the ballpark on a warm Sunday afternoon. There's Tony Gwynn. He's got good speed leading off second base. And David Eckstein, who's hitting .289 with 59 hits, among the league leaders in hits this year. Pinch hitting for the Padres and their pitcher. And he breaks his bat, chops it to third. Boy, Polanco backed up on it. He got him. There's one. Now over to third. Polanco applies the tag. What a play by Placido to dig that out of the dirt. It's a 5-3-5 double play to finish off the 8th inning. Now, who would have thought that was going to happen?
Everybody, right?
Placido Polanco backs up on the grounder, throws across the diamond. There's one. Ryan Howard confidently throws it over to third, and there's two. The Phillies defense, which has been outstanding this series, rises to the occasion one more time here. Padres, as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Will Venable is in the game. He's playing right field. David Eckstein stays in the game to play second base for San Diego. And Scott Hairston moves from right field to left field for Matt Stairs. And the new pitcher is right-hander Mike Adams. 26th game for Adams. He's another guy that throws some bullets. 29 strikeouts and 24 1/3. Lefties and righties have struggled against him because he'll bear it down inside to the left-handed hitters. And how about Placido Polanco? Man, the defense has been outstanding for the Phillies in this series, but Polanco just made the play of the series.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be a disaster when it started, too, because he backed up. And once an infielder backs up like that, a lot of times that hop's going to play him, and bad things are going to happen. He made a tremendous play after he backed up and then dug that throw out of the dirt and put the tag on Gwynn.
Well, here's Ross Glow to lead it off as a pinch hitter. He takes a breaking ball out and away. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
And that's a bad base running play by Gwynn, too, because he's in scoring position with 2 outs and he just made the third out at third base. And one of the ultimate no-nos in baseball, and he knows that growing up with his daddy.
On the hands for Glow, Jerry Hairston at shortstop, 1 away. So 1 out here in the 8th, and to the top of the order now for the Phillies as Brad Lidge loosens up in the bullpen.
Adams is another guy like Gregerson, throws a ton of sliders. He'll maybe throw more fastballs, but he's going to come in and throw breaking balls.
Well, in this Padres bullpen, we talk so much about their starting staff. Their bullpen has a 2.71 earned run average, which leads all major league teams.
Well, they're real comfortable where they are in this game right now with it being tied.
Victorino, he has scored twice today. And he pops the first pitch foul. There's that Padres bullpen. Some guys just soaking it in at this point, because this 8th inning is Mike Adams.
Well, this is one of the 3 guys they feel could close for them.
There's Heath Bell, who was on the chair there. He is their closer.
And Gregerson's the other one.
Broke his bat. Softly hit to Gonzalez, who feeds the bag 2 away. So 2 outs quickly here at the bottom of the 8th inning. And here's Placido Polanco. Polanco has a 3-hit day. Or I should say a 2-hit day. The first time he was up, his ball, which was hit hard to second base, was ruled an error to the second baseman Zawatsky. Adams was waiting for his outfielders to get situated. They have a very different alignment of their outfielders.
They play a lot of these Phillies hitters towards right and right center, meaning they're right-handed batters. So they pitch them away and play them away. But they're severe overshifts. Remind me a little bit of who used to do that a lot. The Braves used to do that a lot, even with Andrew Jones and Marquise Grissom. And those are 2 guys who could fly, and so can Gwynn. You don't think you'd have to overshift that much with a guy who can run as well as their center fielder. But, it's the way they do things, and it works for them, I guess.
1 ball, no strikes the count to Polanco. And that's in for strike 1.
But, back in those Braves days, they had pitchers that could throw it where they wanted to. You really have to rely on the location of your staff to overshift like this, I think.
I always wonder if they play this way because of the way their ballpark is and all the room in right center field. But I think you're right. I think it's more about the pitchers.
Yeah. And, Polanco and Castro and guys like that, they do hit the ball the other way a lot.
And a line drive, base hit for Polanco into left center field. Hairston got to it quickly. That's where that move pays off, because he was able to cut that ball off. I'm not saying Matt Stairs wouldn't have been able to cut it off, but still. Our WB Mason delivery of the ball game. Placido Polanco on defense.
First pitch to David Eckstein from Contreras. Throws him out at first and back to third. Gets a quick tag on Gwynn coming over there, too. Ryan got rid of it quickly. Boy, that was a tremendous play. Nobody liked it more than the Hurley.
Who threw just 1 pitch.
That's it.
And his day was done. Our WB Mason delivery of the game.
Phillies could score in this inning. He's a pitcher of record. On the plus side.
Yep, here is Chase Utley, 0 for 3 with a walk. Chase 1 for 9 in the series. And he takes a fastball for strike 1.
These guys keep the ball in the park, too. 1 home run for Adams in 25 appearances, now 26. 1 for Bell. Guys in the late innings that keep the ball in the park. Now they have to do play in a huge place in San Diego, but they got to play on the road, too.
Yeah, overall, the bullpen for the Padres has allowed 15 home runs in over 180 innings of work. 1 pitch to Utley. Swing and a miss on a slider, and it's 0-2.
Well, the guys you really want to keep in the yard are the ones that come in late in the games.
Ryan Howard waits on deck. Hoping to get a chance to bat here in the 8th inning. Phillies trying to take the 3rd game of this series. They took the first 2. Polanco goes, the pitch hit foul.
It's a good time to run, 0-2. Figure he's going to throw a slider. He wound up throwing a fastball, but you guess he's going to throw a breaking ball in the dirt. And you know, good chance to steal second then with a ball in the dirt. It turns out to be a high fastball, and Utley's protecting on it. The other thing is, even if he strikes out here, well, no, that's not good. No, I'm not going there. Let's just stay with the first part of it. The point you try to make is, even if he's thrown out, then Utley starts with a fresh count. Right?
I'm with you on that one. You're saying you don't want to do that.
No.
And Charlie.
Well, yeah. I'd like to get that guy to second for Utley, that's for sure.
That's a good point, too. 0-2 the count to Chase. He doesn't go, and the pitch is fouled. And it remains 2 strikes. That was that slider.
Yeah. Forget that last scenario. That was reaching beyond reaching. Trying to get the guy to second.
Well, you were saying that if he gets caught, that Chase would lead off the 9th inning with a fresh count, but you'd prefer to have him up here with a chance to give the Phillies the lead.
I'd like to see him get to second.
To the count.
I just got off base on that. I apologize. Sometimes you have good stuff, sometimes you fail.
Outside, 1-2.
And it's interesting what they're doing with their outfield with Chase, Tom, the way we talk about these overshifts. It's almost straight away for him. Slightly to pull, and their infield playing basically straight away, too. Now, you know, play a little bit, I mean, to pull, but, you know, they're not overshifting.
And they are deep. In particular, Venable in right field. He pulls it toward first. Oh, off the glove of Gonzalez. That doesn't happen that often.
Top spin lob coming at him. A changeup. Hits it off the end of the bat. Ball probably spinning like crazy. He looks down at the ground. Maybe took a bad hop too. But you're right. He does not make many mistakes. He just said something to him like, oh, what did you do to that thing? See, you get way out in front. Ball spinning. Did it hit the cutout? No. It just ate him alive is what it does.
Well, that's going to be an error to Gonzalez.
When you hook the ball like that, the way Utley did, and that pitch is a changeup like that, and you hit it right off the end of the bat, it's got some serious spin on it.
So runners on first and second, 2 away. Now let's see if the Phillies can capitalize again. They capitalized the entire second inning against the Padres in their miscues. 3-man overshift on for Ryan. And he takes a slider for a strike. 0-1 the count. Polanco's on second. Chase is on first. It's a 5-5 game here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Ryan Howard's really seen a lot of breaking balls today. And this guy has a good one.
Got a pitch that he could drive. It was a fastball, and it looked like he was, as strange as it sounds, it looked like he was a little ahead of him.
It's one of those situations where, you know, just a base hit can give you the lead with your closer ready to come in the game. You don't need a 3-run homer.
And a swing and a miss at a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. He may have gotten a piece of it, according to Marvin Hudson, but Adams gets the strikeout. He strands 2. We've played 8. We go to the 9th. It's a 5-5 ball game. In Philadelphia for their only visit of the year. It's a 3-game series. Get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. Diamondbacks got a pretty good shot in the arm last night when Dontrell Willis, who was acquired from the Detroit Tigers, threw 6 scoreless innings for the D-backs. Maybe a change of scenery has helped him. We'll see those Diamondbacks the only time here in Philadelphia at the end of July. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Brad Lidge in a tie game, 5-5. Trying to get this game to the bottom of the 9th inning and keep it even at 5. Brad, who pitched a scoreless 9th inning in game 1 of this series. Those are his numbers, 7th game. And this is obviously a non-save situation. And he had some good stuff the other night. And he'll face the top of the order. Scott Hairston, Jerry Hairston, and Adrian Gonzalez. He's trying to retire the leadoff batter because 2, 3, and 4 have been smoking hot for the Padres today. Hairston's 1 for 4. And he takes a fastball a little high, 1-0. He just asked Marvin Hudson where that pitch was. Try to check his swing, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike as he fouled it off. The other night when Brad came on, he had an unbelievable slider, but probably the pitch of the inning was the fastball that he threw on the outside part of the plate to Adrian Gonzalez to get him on strikes. And it isn't often, or it wasn't often last year, that Brad had that much command of his fastball, but he certainly did the other night. And he works ahead of Hairston, 1-2.
He got a slider up a little bit that time to Hairston. But his pitches the other night, as you say, Tom, are really good. Everything was quality. And, you know, he's so important to this team if he can come back and pitch well again.
One of 5 pitchers used today. Joe Blanton started, went the first 5, allowed 11 hits and 5 runs. Then Chad Durbin, a scoreless inning in 2/3. J.C. Romero pitched 2/3 for Charlie, scoreless. And then Jose Contreras threw 1 pitch, got 2 outs in his 2/3. Outside, 3-2.
They missed badly with those 2 sliders, and they're not even the kind that Hairston would chase.
And a swing and a miss. That was a slider that came spinning from top to bottom. 1 out here in the 9th. Well, here is Friday night. Look how impressive this was. David Eckstein, out number 1.
They got him on a ground ball, on a breaking ball, a slider. And then this is the pitch Tom's talking about, the Gonzalez fastball away in a great spot. And then Headley was having trouble with that down and in pitch all night with Roy Halladay. And then with Lidge, swings over 1.
So with 1 away, here's Jerry Hairston. He has 3 hits today, and he drops a slider on the inside corner. You know, the fact that he, in that outing the other night, and even with these last 2 sliders here, has been able to command where he wants it. You know, there's been a couple pitches in this inning that really hasn't been the case. And it's also a good sign. That one is straight above our heads.
How many you ever seen do that?
Not many. That's why it looks so weird to look up.
We hardly ever get a ball. We never got one in the booth here, and you hardly ever get one above your head like that. That's power on power is what that is. Hard thrower, and you know, the guy's strong to hit the ball up that high.
In the dirt, 1-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard. Now the Mets came all the way back. They were down in this ball game. It was 6-1 at one point, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
they win it 7-6. David Wright 3 for 5.
What are they doing in that ballpark of theirs?
I don't know. They have the best best home record in the National League. Terrible road record, but at home the Mets are 22-9.
Is that a 4-game series?
That's a good question. It is not a 4-game series. It's getting a little late here. Everybody's getting a little hungry. Center field. Victorino started in, but now he goes back. The wind is picked up here at the ballpark. 2 outs. So Brad has got the first 2 batters now and has to face Adrian Gonzalez. See flags out in the outfield. The wind has picked up the last 10-15 minutes or so. Adrian Gonzalez has 3 hits and 3 runs batted in, and he's 2 for 7 lifetime against Lidge.
And he tried to stay away from him the other night to make him beat him to left or left center. Here they go again out there. And he already hit a home run to left field today, but that wind's going to affect the ball a little bit more than it did earlier in the game when there wasn't as much wind. It could knock something down out that way.
There's a slider in for a strike. 1-1 the count.
And Gonzalez knows what he's trying to do to him right now. And Gonzalez early in the count is going to look middle into pull and hit the ball out of the ballpark with the way the wind's blowing to right. And this guy's a good hitter, though. He can do anything.
They got one in on the hands. Castro heading back shallow center. Makes the catch. A 1-2-3 ninth inning for Brad Lidge. Another nice inning for Brad. That sets up the bottom of the ninth in a 5-5 game. Jason Worth, Raul Ibanez, and Brian Schneider are due up for the Phils. Game. Stay here for Mike Missinelli and Jason Stark. They've got all of today's highlights, a look at the week ahead, and everything Phillies baseball. It's the Xfinity Phillies postgame show right after the game on MyPHL 17. Well, the guys will be over at Chickies and Pete's, and they're hoping that they have something positive to talk about. It's been a good series so far. The Phils have taken the first 2 games, and now they have an opportunity with the game tied at 5 against the Padres bullpen. It's still Mike Adams. Look at what the bullpen for the Padres has done today. 6 1/3, 4 hits and no runs. The Phillies bullpen, maybe not in the same span of time, has pitched scoreless baseball.
Well, they've both done a really good job here today. Talked about that both teams like their bullpen. The Padres especially do. Phillies bullpen has also been really good.
Jason Worth leads it off. Jason hitless today in 3 official at-bats, and he takes a slider on the outside corner. That may have been a cutter. It had movement on it, but it was at 93. 0-1 the count. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Adams last year pitched in 37 games for the Padres out of the bullpen. 54 the year before. He figured something out.
He was with Milwaukee, and he was hittable.
Yes, he was. An ERA over 11 in 06. Almost the same spot as the first pitch. Oh, must have been a little off the plate. It's 2-1.
Playing him deep in the outfield towards right center. Guarding the line at third, off the line at first with Gonzalez. See how deep the outfielders are, trying to stay away from any kind of extra base hit.
2-1 the count to Jason.
Wind blowing to right.
And he pops it up. Left side of the infield, Jerry Hairston will make the call, and he needs to follow it around because the wind pulled it back. And there's out number 1. So 1-0 Ibanez. Adams pitched for the Padres in 2008. And in 54 games had an earned run average of 2.48. Then he had to have shoulder surgery. So it took him some time to get back into the swing of things last year. He pitched in just 37 games. But he was barely hittable. His earned run average was .73.
Well, they got two more out there too. You know, Gregerson and Bell. They're really going to have really tough to get a run right now. Obviously, the way their bullpen's pitched.
0-1 the count to Raul. And he hits it towards center field. Tony Gwynn Jr. on the run into the alleyway, and he glided right under it. And there are 2 outs. Oh, and here's Brian Schneider. Has 2 hits today. Still looking for that first home run. His doubles last time up came against Ryan Webb. And the pitch to him. Hold foul right past Davey Lopes. And it's 0-1. Adonis Baez, who is warming up for the Phillies. Brad Lidge pitched a scoreless top of the 9th inning.
Yeah, he was good again today. That's really encouraging.
Change up low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Brad most likely will not pitch the 10th. That's why Baez is up. He's, 1 and done, and that's good. Particularly coming back off of the 2 stints on the DL. In the dirt, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Right, and that's the idea about using the closer at home, because you use it for 1 inning, you hope you win the game in the bottom of the 9th, as opposed to the road. You got to use them for 2.
Yeah, Heath was up before for the Padres, but he is sat down. There's Heath. And Baez downstairs throwing.
We're talking about a tie game, of course.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. 3-1. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Scott Rowland hit his 14th home run, and the Reds defeated the Nationals 5-4 in 10 innings. 14 home runs.
That's quite a resurgence for our old friend.
Slider for strike 2, 3-2.
I haven't seen the Reds yet this year. We didn't see them in spring training because they moved to Arizona. Here's a pitch. Snyder thought he had a walk, and that is certainly high some days, but not that time.
And some moments during today's game.
And nobody knows that more than the catcher, who's been back there all day.
Hit that hard, but foul. It remains 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It's a casual play down there by Davey Lopes. Tosses a deflection to the crowd.
Somebody missed it. Davies.
How'd you miss that?
Yeah.
See what I just did?
He's thinking that.
Yeah. So I just made a heck of a play.
Up high, ball 4. Schneider's aboard with 2 outs.
You may run for him here. We'll see whether they want to use. Well, we'll see. They're talking about it.
He's looking over to the dugout. Wilson Valdez is available to pinch run. I don't think they would use Ben Francisco to run. But Black is looking over.
Yeah, they call time. They're going to send a runner out there. And we'll see whether they use a position player or a pitcher.
Yeah, see, they're going to use Ben Francisco to pinch hit for Juan Castro. So that's what Charlie was calling for. So Castro got up to the plate. They called him back. And Balsley looking over the scouting report on Ben Francisco. hitting .214. He had 15 home runs last year between the Phillies and the Indians. And he has not gotten yard at all this year. So the Phillies opt to keep Ryan Schneider at first. And they pinch hit for Juan Castro.
Well, if they can get him into scoring position, then they'll probably run for him. But I guess they figure at first base with 2 outs, they're not going to make that move.
And a slider down, 1 ball and no strikes. Now Carlos Ruiz has come out in the on-deck circle. So he'll pinch hit for the pitcher.
And stay in the game.
So Valdez could run for Schneider if he gets into scoring position.
Right, then come in and play short for Castro.
A swing and a miss. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Francisco.
This outfield alignment is straight away for Ben Francisco. Tony Gwynn Jr. is right behind the bag and deep. That was a little bit of a hanger there. Swung over it. Now you see the outfield defense trying to prevent an extra base hit by playing that deep.
He fouled that one off of Marvin Hudson. He got a little wobbly.
Yeah, well, he would. You would think, you know, even back there 3.5 hours on a smoking hot day like this, all those pitches and you get boinked. Don't need that. Oh. Right over the heart area on that chest protector.
And Nick Huntley knew it too. I mean, he reacted right away, turned around, and then immediately walked out to the mound. One and two the count.
It was on his right side. It wasn't over the heart area, but it hurt.
Heart.
But it hurt.
Big hearted.
That's nice of you to say that about an umpire. They appreciate that, especially this week.
Off the end of the bat, and it's a foul.
That really has to stun you. Boy, you've been out there in this heat all day. There's Jim Joyce, who we talked about what a tough week has been for him, and you know,
how about his crew and how supportive they've been for him too. 1-2 the count to Francisco. And he flares it toward right center. Eckstein on the run, and he can't get there. Schneider continues on to third. The Phillies have runners on first and third with 2 men down. Boy, I thought Eckstein was going to get to that spot.
Yeah, well, I think the wind took that a little bit because it's blowing out that way, and it was just like you said, a little flare. Hit it right off the end of the bat, a slider, and just far enough to get it over his glove. You know, he was trying to run to a spot, and it wasn't the right spot. Here comes a runner now for Schneider. It'll be Valdez, and like we said, they can all stay in the game if we keep going. Ruiz can stay in, Valdez can stay in.
So with 2 outs, Valdez takes over for Schneider. Ryan Schneider's had a good day offensively. He's been on base 3 times. And now his spot, Phillies hope, can win this ball game. So the Phillies have emptied their bench. And Carlos Ruiz has just been introduced as a pinch hitter.
Now Sam Perlaza is going to talk to Valdez down there at third. This guy does throw a lot of sliders, and if he bounces one, be ready.
Carlos, a 6-game hitting streak. He's been one of the Phillies' best hitters with runners in scoring position all year long.
Want to get your runner on third base, have a nice walking lead when this pitch is thrown.
Headley, the third baseman, is off the bag and back, so that gives Valdez even more time to get a good lead. And the first pitch is slider outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Good walking lead. Just watching Wilson Valdez. You always want to be in motion towards the plate when the pitch is thrown, especially in a situation like this. So if it bounces away, you got a chance.
They just waved Eckstein back at second. Or Black said, hey, give yourself as much room as you can.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. 2 outs.
And Gonzalez has been waved off first. Francisco goes, and the pitch is outside, ball 2. And out to the mound goes Nick Hundley because Adams is a little frustrated by these last 2 pitches.
Yeah, they just let him go there because that run doesn't mean anything. And then all the infielders are going to play deep.
2-0 the count to Ruiz. Rally caps all around the ballpark. Sore hands as well. They've scored that a fielder's choice, by the way, for Francisco. Defensive indifference. 2-0 the count to Ruiz. And a fastball, and he was taking all the way. The count to Carlos. Inside, did it hit him?
No,
it hit the glove and dropped down. 3-1.
Almost.
Shane Victorino waits on deck.
It was a fastball time, and it's chasing him. Oh, how'd that miss his uniform?
I thought it hit. That's where I thought it hit. I thought it misdirected, but it was the glove. It was just boxed by Humlin.
Yeah, his uniforms are so blousy now. A lot of times it just nips him.
Back toward the box. Adams has got it. It was a slider, and Ruiz hit it off the end of the bat, and the inning is over. The Phil Strand 2 in scoring position. Extra innings here in Philadelphia. We go to the 10th. It's a 5-5 game. A little free baseball here at Citizens Bank Park. That's right. We go to the top of the 10th inning in a 5-5 game. Phillies are 2-2 in extra inning games so far this season. Meanwhile, the Padres 5-3. Padres with 8 extra inning games. This is their 9th already. Carlos Ruiz, as we mentioned, stays in the game. He'll catch. Wilson Valdez is at short. And Donis Baez, the new pitcher for the Phillies. And they'll face Chase Headley to start the top of the 10th inning. Both bullpens have been very good today. And you see Baez's numbers, his 25th game. He's 2-1 with an ERA of 3.91. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike as Headley fouls the ball back. Headley's been on base 3 times. You see he's got 3 hits and 4 official at-bats. Bring his average up to 288. And he has to move his feet a little bit. It's 2-1. Here's the rundown for the Phillies bullpen. Chad Durbin, an inning and 2/3. J.C. Romero, 2/3. Jose Contreras, 2/3 of an inning. Brad Lidge, a scoreless 9th inning. And now Baez. This after Joe Blanton over 5, allowed 5 runs on 11 hits. Back toward the middle, and that's the 4th hit of the day for Chase Headley. And it's a leadoff single here in the 10th. That's 10 hits for 2, 3, and 4 in the order. 10 of the 15.
Yeah, and you're still playing. That's amazing.
Nick Hundley homered back in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 4. He also has bounced into a double play, which the Phillies would take here, although Hundley's squaring. And he bunts it back toward the mound. Baez has one play at first, and the putout goes 1-4. And the sacrifice is successful. And one away for Will Venable, who is hitting for the first time.
And Gregerson was up, and now they have a man in scoring position. They're going to get Heath Bell up to throw along with him.
Bell is nearest to us. Gregerson is the right-hander who is deepest in the pen. It is true. You know, you think about this Padres squad. If they were to trade Heath Bell, I mean, there's talk that they always talk that they would trade him. They do have other guys that could close. Venable pulls it softly toward Chase Utley. It does get the runner over to third, but there are 2 outs here in the 10th inning.
That was a good job there by Danix Baez and Carlos Ruiz. You know, for a guy looking to hit a fastball from a fastball pitcher, they start him with a breaking ball, and he was about 2 area codes in front of that one. Way out in front of it.
Well, Tony Gwynn is 1 for 4. He singled in the 8th inning. It was his base running play that resulted in the 5-3-5 double play that ended the 8th. And they're going to walk him intentionally to face Oscar Salazar. So they're more content with facing the right-hander Salazar than the lefty Tony Gwynn Jr. Salazar has 3 pinch hits. As Charlie figures, righty against righty.
Righty against righty, and Gwynn is one of those guys who has tremendous speed, and those guys are more likely to beat out an infield hit, hit a blooper, and that gets them a run. So I would think it's the percentage, but as much as anything, you're dealing with a guy with speed who could get a funky hit right here and give him the lead.
Well, and that's what he did in his last at bat. He did a little looper into left center field. So Salazar, that means that the Padres are down to just Yordi and Torrealba off their bench. You mentioned the Phillies have nobody left off their bench. Salazar, a pinch hit in game 1 of the series, started yesterday's game. And you see his split so far in 2010.
Excuse me, Tom. This is turning into a battle of attrition with these 2 teams right now. As you say, all these players being used. Phillies have no extra men, and as you just said, Torrealba was the only guy left. Their other catcher. Now they have more pitching. Does Bud Black? He had more guys available in the bullpen than the Phillies do.
And that's because Sean Gallagher was so good in relief of the starter today, Kevin Correa.
Yeah, he saved them today. He saved them from, and you remember one time he let him hit too. So that bought them some more time.
One ball, 1 strike to count to Salazar. And it's high, 2-1. Line drive, 1 hopper, backhanded by Valdez. Can't get out of his glove. Throws wide of first, and a run scores. And the Padres take a 6-5 lead.
Speed hurts you the other way there. Because of Gwynn's speed, he wasn't able. He wanted to go to second because he knew he really didn't have a play at first base. He thought about second base right away, but Gwynn got there in a hurry.
So a base hit for Oscar Salazar, a pinch hit.
There's Salazar, hits it in the hole. See the first look? And now, of course, his momentum's all gone to get anything on his throw because he's going to take a peek at second, but because Gwynn runs so well, no play there.
And scoring easily is Headley for the second time today. And here's Eckstein with 2 aboard. So it's a 1-run lead for the Padres here at the top of the 10th inning. So the Phillies, who came from behind earlier in the game, will have to come from behind again. And a fastball in there for a strike to Eckstein. Eckstein has been up just one time, a 5-3-5 double play. Off the plate. Baez has time, and the inning is over. But the Padres do score a run thanks to 2 hits and a walk. Oscar Salazar has given the Friars a 1-run lead. Top of the order is due up for the Phillies when we come back. Ahead in everything Phillies baseball. It's the Xfinity Phillies postgame show right after the game on MyPHL 17. Phillies began play today 2 games back in the National League East. They trail it now 6-5 as we go to the bottom of the 10th inning. And Heath Bell, who last year saved 42 games for the Padres, has 14 saves this season. Now he has blown 3 saves, but 32 strikeouts in 24 innings. Listen, his outings are not without base runners. I mean, look at the number of hits and walks combined that he has allowed this year. But he's a hard thrower, and he's got a very good slider.
Yeah, he really likes his breaking ball, and just watching him warm up, he threw quite a few of them. And there are the overall numbers for him. He kind of throws like a curved slurve for a breaking ball and fastball. And he really isn't going to throw too many changeups. He throws 2 pitches. And one thing they've always said about him is he's not scared, even with base runners.
Now, when he was with the Mets, he always felt like he didn't get a chance. Then he finally got a chance with the Padres under Trevor Hoffman as his setup man. And when Hoffman went on to the Brewers, that's when he took over as the closer. And his first pitch to Victorino, misses inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. The third baseman, Headley, is in on the grass just in case Victorino decides to bunt one up that way. Gonzalez is way back behind the bag at first. And that's over for a strike. It's 1-1. Heath Bell is 3rd in the league in saves with 14. Matt Capps leads the way with 18. And Francisco Cordero has 17 for the Reds. In there for strike 2. See that movement in his 95-mile-an-hour fastball has late.
Victorino, I mean, that's a pitch he has to hit as a fastball. You know, it's almost like he's looking for a breaking ball right now. Bell's just throwing 2 fastballs right there.
And he pulls that one towards second. Eckstein backed up on it, but he still had enough on the throw to retire Shane. And 1 out here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Bell spent 9 years in the minor leagues. Now, the last 3 of those years with the Mets, he was back and forth. Here's Polanco. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. It's amazing, though, sometimes where guys don't get a chance with one organization. They're kind of cast off to another one. And not that he's done what he's done in obscurity, but Trevor Hoffman helped him along, groomed him to basically take over for him, and he's done a very good job taking over for him. Polanco has 3 hits today, and he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, unlike what he just did with Victorino, he just went breaking ball on Polanco and missed with both of them.
There's Chase waiting on deck, waiting for a chance. And he delivers a fastball for a strike at the knees. It's 2-1.
Thing is nasty. You can see why he has such success with that curveball. It's hard and it has tilt. It'll be a tough pitch to stay off if he's ahead of you.
And there's ball 4. Fastball down and away, and the Phillies have the tying run aboard. The 5th time today that Polanco has reached base safely. And that'll bring Chase Utley to the plate. Chase is 0 for 4 today. He's been on base twice, a walk, and he reached on an error by Adrian Gonzalez.
Two for 8 lifetime with a double off Heath Bell.
The outfielders are really deep for Chase. And he loops one towards center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Polanco's going to go on to third. The throw by Gwynn off balance. He got him at third base. What a throw by Tony Gwynn. Well, Tony Gwynn made a base running mistake earlier in this game, and he just got on that ball quickly and threw a strike off balance to third to get Polanco.
Yeah, he does a great job of making an accurate throw there. Polanco figures he's going to have a heck of a shot to get to third base because he's so deep in that no extra base defense. Man, that is a tremendous throw when you consider how he had to throw without his legs. Bell's backing up the play, and he sees it right in front of him. He says, we got him. And here's a good look at it. Quick tag.
Sold well, too, by Headley, the third baseman. Here's Ryan Howard. Out in front of a breaking ball. It's 0-1. Ryan has 3 ribbies today, but he has just 1 hit and 8 at-bats against Bell. So Utley's on first. Fastball on the outside corner. It's 0-2. Phillies down to their final strike and their final out here in the bottom of the 10th inning. That expression tells it all. There was so much exuberance when Chase got that hit, thinking they had a chance to do something here in the 10th to tie it up at least. I still can't believe he made that accurate a throw.
Great play. Tremendous throw. You know, that was a spot where he really felt he could gamble because what we just said, because he was so deep.
One and two the count to Ryan. Opposite way, a foul ball. One and two the count to Howard. Up he goes. The pitch is lined toward right field. That's a base hit. Chase is on his way to third, and he'll get there standing. Boy, that ball took a Super Bowl hop. Fortunately for the Padres, Will Venable is 6'5" because the shorter outfielder, and that ball may have skipped right over his head. First and third with 2 outs.
Good job by Ryan Howard, too. He had a pretty good breaking ball there. Here it is, the hop that Tom's talking about. No problem for Utley to get to third. He's running on that. Placido Polanco just thrown out of third base, and a tremendous play by Tony Gwynn. Let's see what the middle infielders try to do. And Utley did not know where the ball was because he's running there with his head down. And you see him take a quick look at Sam Perlaza like, can I come over and talk to you? Sammy was waving him all the way.
So runners on first and third with 2 outs. The Phillies trail it by 1 here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Jason Worth the batter. And Jason takes a fastball inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Jason's day. He has been on base 1 time. 1 for 4 against Heath Bell. Swing and a miss.
And they have their outfield line that they don't mind a tie game here, but they don't want extra base. Look how deep they are. Which means, you know, you can dunk one out there. You can dunk one in there and tie this game.
Which is what Chase did in his at-bat. He just looped it right in. 1 and 2 the count to Jason. So again, the Phillies down to their final strike and their final out. Just as they were with Ryan Howard, who singled. And a swing and a miss at 97 miles an hour. And Heath Bell closes out the Phillies here at the bottom of the 10th inning. An extra inning win for the Padres, their 6th of the year. The Phillies had the tying run on third, the winning run on first, but Heath Bell was able to get Jason Worth on strikes to finish off the bottom of the 10th inning. And the Chevrolet players of the game today, the Padres 2, 3, and 4 hitters who had 10 of the 15 hits, 4 runs, and 3 runs batted in. So the Padres take game 3 of this series. We'll be back to talk about it in just a few moments. Padres 6.